You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting season. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting season. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey. Welcome to the show. What's going on? Welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 3, Episode 39. My name is Joe Rad. And joining us this evening for their second visit, we have JRPGLife. We have Dan.
Hello.
And we have Elisa. How we doing?
Good.
Welcome back, guys. How you been?
Good.
Doing well, thank you.
Glad to see you. And also, as a special guest, as a special treat, we have a bonus guest, a super duper honest super episode, bonus episode. We got Rectwizard with us as well. How you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the show. So, seeing as this is your first appearance, Rect, why don't you introduce yourself first and tell everybody who you are and what you do and what you like to collect?
So I'm Mike, or Rectwizard as my handle. I do YouTube content, TikTok, Instagram, a lot of short form stuff. Been collecting for a lot of years, and I collect a little bit of everything, but I'm really into the 6th generation. So I collect a lot of Xbox, PlayStation 2. Those are my two primary systems. A lot of RPGs and a lot of horror games. Those are my two genres I go for. And yeah, everything but the Dreamcast. I'm not a Dreamcast fan. I know a lot of people hate me for saying that, but
Really?
But yeah, I'm not a fan. I think it's just overhyped.
Most people weren't. That's why it didn't do well.
Yeah, it's ahead of its time. I'm like, was it though? Like, it wasn't that great. But yeah, so I collect a little bit of everything, all the way back from like Atari till current stuff, and I like collectibles and all kinds of cool stuff. So I've been doing it a long time, and decided to turn it into content about 4 years ago.
That's pretty awesome, man. So you have you do YouTube videos as well. You're on Instagram, X, all that stuff. Very cool.
Yep, TikTok, and I used to stream on Twitch a lot, and I kind of moved over. If I do live streaming, it's over on YouTube now. But and then I also host a podcast as well.
Oh, cool. What's the name of your show?
So I have the Retro Renegade podcast, and then I'm actually starting a new one with Video Game Votary and Black Ranger next week. We're gonna have our own thing.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they're good dudes. I'm excited to start one with them. And so yeah, I love doing the podcast thing, dude. It's like one of my favorite things to do is just get to hang out with other nerds and talk about all this stuff. It's nice.
Do you guys have like a set schedule that you do your show on? Like what nights do you do it?
So the Retro Renegade one, I have 3 other co-hosts, and that one's been put on hold for right now. But the new one I'm starting with the other guys, we're going to be doing every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so noon Eastern time every Sunday, starting next Sunday. Yeah.
A little morning retro talk. That's pretty nice. The exact opposite of what I do.
Yeah, I figured we would get it out of the way early in case we all had family plans on Sunday. We could knock it out early. And if we have to go to bed early for work, it doesn't, affect that as well. So
I decided a long time ago that I could never have I don't think I could do like a morning show because I'm not family friendly. Like I like the fact that I'm late because I swear too much. I'm just being honest. I have a potty mouth. So
yeah,
I feel bad doing it in the daytime. I know kids would listen to it. People wouldn't be able to but if you're watching it at 10 o'clock at night, you should know better. Your kids should be in bed. So I don't feel bad. That's the way
I thought this was a light swearing podcast. So, okay, good to go.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck yeah. No,
yeah.
sorry.
So, You know, if we were making lots of money, I'd be like, "Hey guys, no more swearing," but we don't. So
Yeah,
do what you want. Anyway, welcome back to the show, Dan and Lisa. How you guys been?
Doing well.
Great.
Thank you.
I know
the
everybody-
usual.
People saw you before the last time, but do you want to reintroduce yourself? Tell everybody what you do.
Sure. I'm Dan. This is my wifey, Lisa. And we're JRPGLife. We've been doing this for about 3 years. And YouTube primarily. We do a little bit. We just cross-post on TikTok and Instagram, but our focus is YouTube. And we make game hunting content primarily. And we used to do garage sales, not anymore. And we just have fun going to expos and hanging out and playing video games. And we play video games every day.
Yeah.
Even though we both have full-time jobs. And this is our passion.
That's awesome. Yeah, same here. I have a full-time job and play games, talk games, buy games, research games, sleep. I just can't get enough of it. It's so much fun.
Absolutely.
So you guys have been going for about 3.5 years, 4 years, you said, on YouTube?
3 years. Yeah, we just hit 3 years last month.
So one of the things that I miss kind of is I feel like there was like an era of YouTube where you got to see a lot of garage sailing videos and thrifting videos and stuff like that. And there still is content like that for sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not like the old days. And like I feel like that that time period, like maybe 2014 to 2018-ish, 19-ish.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same like that. And it's harder to make content like that. I know a lot of people who focused on that type of stuff. They do not do that anymore at all. It's completely shifted into like, you know, either top 10 videos, reviews, conventions and stuff, because it's just, that's what's relevant now. You could go out making garage sale videos for like weeks and not find anything. And it's like, I don't have enough to make a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny. The garage sale environment has shifted more to just the reseller side.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reseller garage sellers, but there's not
Yeah.
really a video game only yard sale channel anymore. Usually they're doing other things. There are some, but they're not often.
Like we have to, like, if we do a garage sale video, we have to focus it not only around video games but also like nostalgia items.
Yeah.
Because like we might hit like one garage sale that actually has video games to buy and like hit 50 in a day. So
Yeah. And the editing is tiresome for garage sales. I'll come home with 200 clips that I got to put into one video. And that's a common for a garage sale day. Because I just turn the camera on just in case. And you never know, you know.
and the
That's
GoPro always dies when we finally get like
Yeah.
like the battery is just like boop,
Always.
or it'll crash and like, oh yeah, we just picked up this DS Lite and it has a Pokemon Heart Gold in it, but no one saw that because
Oh, you just got to believe us. Yeah.
that figures.
might as well trash the video at that point.
And oh man, I kind of wish Figsy was here for this because he was he got into like reselling for quite a bit, and like you said, you can't like really do it. Like if you're like want to do it like for a living or to make money or whatever, you can't just focus on games anymore.
Right.
Like you have to like learn about all things nostalgic, and not like even like books and like he like weird like he would make a lot of money off of like BBC TV show sets. You know what I mean? Like people like he made like a huge thing about like television sets of shows. Like he would collect them and build like the entire set over a year or two and then sell them that way, and they would always like make tons of money. And so like you kind of like you said, it's you have to like learn about everything collectible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of cool, but I don't know. For me, like I just like games. I have enough problems. I feel like if I started learning about that, I would start collecting other things, and I don't need that in my life. I just
Yeah. We all collect enough already.
Yeah, I'm really big into like retro toys as well. So like I'm like already passionate about it, so I know what I'm like looking for, you know, when I go out to a garage sale.
So I have explored that realm, and oh man, it's scary. First of all, it is. So the ones that I want, I don't know if you guys ever remember. Do you remember a show called The Inhumanoids?
She
Anyone watch
remembers
that?
everything, I'm sure.
No, it was like a 90s cartoon show that like got banned for being too scary for kids.
That sounds right up my alley.
Is that the
It-
one with like Frankenstein and
There were like 3 giant demon gods, and like one of them was this giant skeleton creature, and he would touch people with his claw and turn them into like zombies. But like the animation was like horrific. The person would like swell up and like rip out of their own skin, and big, huge demon horns would come out of their head, and it was wild. And like I don't know, I was always like an edgelord even when I was a little kid. I always anything I wasn't supposed to do, like, I wanted to do that more than anything. So like I have an older brother. He was like 5 years older than me, and I was constantly trying to watch all the horror movies I wasn't supposed to watch and watch all their shows. But anyway, so like when I heard that there was a show that was like banned, I was like, this is the best. So I loved that show, and I have some of the toys.
Looks wild. Yeah. Never heard of it.
It's cool. Yeah. It was only on for like
I've seen like
maybe two.
I've definitely seen the toy commercials for it. I recognize the toys. I don't remember seeing the cartoon.
So that's where the whole point is. The toys were amazing.
Yeah.
So they had lots of like little normal ones that were really cool, but then they had for the monsters, they had like these giant ones, and they're absolutely amazing. And I was just like, oh, you know what? I don't really want to collect toys per se, but yes, exactly. And then his chest, his rib cage opens.
That's wild,
dude. That's sick.
And then you put like people inside of him, and he would do that on the show. He would pick up people and put them inside his rib cage. Dude, you should watch the show. It's messed up.
Oh, I will. It's only 13 episodes apparently.
Yeah,
so.
We could clear that in a day.
Yeah.
And they're and it's like 90s, 80s cartoons. So like it's like 40 minutes of commercials and 5 minutes of show. So and then 4 minutes of recap of like, this is what just happened 5 seconds ago. And like, I know, I was just there.
Dude, what's funny is I don't go out of my way to like collect toys, but if I'm out and I see something from my childhood, I'm like, I have to have this. And like a lot of times it doesn't even end up on the shelf. Like I bring it home and I play with my kids with these things. I'm like, dude, these things are awesome. This is what I played with when I was a kid. Like right now I've been looking for the toys. They're expensive on eBay. But do you guys remember the show The Cowboys of Moo Mesa?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that show, and I
were like actual
know
cows with like badges or something.
Yeah, there was like a meteor that crashed on Earth and turned them into like people. Like, oh man, that's amazing. That or another toy set I'm looking for my daughter is there was like a knockoff. There was a Super Nintendo game for it, but there was a knockoff Snow White called Happily Ever After. And they made a full toy set of it, and it was basically Snow White after the evil queen is dead, and like they meet the female dwarfs that are like cousins with the dwarfs, and oh dude, it was just a nostalgia trip for me. And like I'm looking for those toys or like old Pokemon toys that I find out in the wild, or a lot of Power Ranger stuff with my kids. Like it's just random stuff from my childhood that I pick up, but we usually play with it and trash it. Like normally I don't put it in the collection, but
yeah, that stuff there's a lot of cross appeal. Like I don't know, I feel like if you get the collector bug in you, it's in you. Like I've tried to explain, like it's a universal thing, regardless of like I always try to tell people like gaming and gaming collecting aren't necessarily the same hobby. Like I know lots of people who are totally obsessed with gaming. They don't own a single game and they don't collect it all. And like my brother, for example, like he has like 5,000 like vinyls or something. He has like some insane amount of vinyl records, and there's just no way that's a coincidence. Like even though he isn't really collecting games and I'm collecting, it's different. We're both just completely the same. Like we have the same compulsions and we just have the same things. And I'm like, it's genetic, I swear. So I find that Retro Rick, I think he really did a good job of like capitalizing on that nostalgia bug, because it's like, it's not just games that take you back. It's everything. It is toys. It's magazines. It's ads. It's commercials. It's all that stuff. Like it's fantastic.
Totally.
Yeah.
Even like food and snacks and stuff. Like it's just kind of crazy to like see like the stuff that he talked. Like I honestly, if it wasn't for Rick, I wouldn't have in a kind of domino effect roundabout way. I would have never met Dan and Elisa, because I found Rick years ago when he first started his $10 game collection. And from there, then there was this random dude's garage that Rick was standing in, and that was good old Mort. And from Mort, it was like Phoenix Resale and the Pixel Game Squad and Caleb and like all these people. And I'm like, I met like the new wave of like YouTubers, because like for years I was watching Jason and Reggie and Adam Koralik and Pat the NES Punk, like for like the last 12 years.
AVGN, don't forget it. We all started with
Yeah.
AVGN. I don't care.
I started
Every
with Metal
single person-
Jesus.
For me, it was when I saw AVGN's Nintendo collection, I was like, yes, why don't I have that in my life? Why am I not doing that? What the hell have I been doing with my life? Like,
Dude,
I'm so stupid. Like, immediately I was like, why do not I have? Like, why am I not doing that?
Dude, if I'm being honest, I didn't know who Angry Video Game Nerd was until I saw him. Like, obviously, this was like 10 plus years ago on Pat's. Like, Pat was with him in like some stuff, and and then I started watching AVGN. But yeah, Metal Jesus was like the first guy, and I was like, man, this guy like likes all the old stuff from when I was a kid. This is dope. And like getting to meet like John Riggs and like Adam Koralik. I love Adam Koralik, dude. Like I could sit there. It's like listening to an encyclopedia on like every generation of every console you could ever want to know about. And honestly, just watching these guys, like just listening to them, it's like literally learning, but I'm enjoying it. Like it could have been a class in school. Oh, and Happy Console Gamer. I got to shout him out because he's my all-time favorite. I love Johnny. Yeah. He's amazing. Like these OG guys are like on the Mount Rushmore of like retro gaming creators. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, but then I met all of these new amazing people through Retro Rick, honestly. So it's been awesome.
So Jason and Reggie and Happy Console Gamer and those guys, like I think that they're so beloved because they were like so genuine at the time and sincere, because they had huge game collections before it was trendy at all. Do you know what I mean? Like not before it was, I don't know, before that, like that fire lit in the public mind about it. They were already into it, and they were just doing it to spread like their love and their passion for it.
It made you feel like it was okay to like be a nerd. Like these guys were broadcasting their love for all the cool things that a lot of people growing up like didn't really talk about. I had friends that wouldn't talk about that they were like into anime or video games because like the general public was like, oh, you're weird, or you're, you know, and just didn't accept it. But then I found Metal Jesus. I'm like, wow, this dude actually makes videos about the stuff I like. That's so awesome. And you just find all these amazing people, and the community has just been awesome. Like, honestly.
Yes, I'm 41. So when I grew up, like I wouldn't say like gaming was like looked down upon, but like there were like Dungeons and Dragons was, there were some things that were like nerdy that people like wouldn't like talk about, and they would look down upon and stuff. And I never cared. I played all that stuff, but I always had the luxury. I'm a large human, so no one was going to give me shit about it anyway. They were like, oh. And I was always into like death metal. And so I was that kid who had those really messed up shirts from like the 7th grade on. Like I was wearing Cannibal Corpse shirts and like Cradle of Filth and all of these things. And so everybody was always like, oh, hello, that guy. Hello, you're strange. It's just like, 'cause that was another thing. When I was in school, no one liked metal.
Oh, dude, I loved it.
No one listened to metal. I mean, it was me, my friend Sean, and this one other dude I knew who liked hardcore. Like he liked straight edge hardcore. He was like into like Poison the Well and he like that sort of stuff. But that was like it. And then there was one other kid who wore Hatebreed shirts. So I like self-isolated socially, like right away from a child. Like I was always like off the beaten path. I'm like, I like weird music. I like nerdy stuff. And I'm embracing it. I've never like had like nerd shame about it, because I'm just like, it's just so part of my being. Like, I don't know. I like Star Trek. I had a Star Trek card collection. Still have it. No shame.
Yeah, well,
Not
dude,
at all.
Like, dude, when I was growing up, like all of the kids in my high school were like playing Madden, right? It was like Madden, Call of Duty and stuff. And I was the kid over here who was like, dude, I can be an elf in Morrowind. Like, this is dope. And like my friends are like, what game is that? And I'm like, dude, this is like one of the greatest games ever. And it's like, so you were like the weird kid because you played the weird games, right? And you're not playing Madden. I'm like, dude, I want to be an elf that kills dragons. Like, what's wrong with that, bro? Like, it's dope to me. And I was in a thrash metal band all through high school, and I loved listening to all the 80s thrash bands, you know. So I wear a lot of denim and a lot of leather, like in high school, you know. So I took lots of dude. I still got my vest from high school.
Oh, there you go,
dude.
There it is.
I still rock it, man.
That's awesome.
So Yeah.
So back in the day, did you guys play any handheld games?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So like my brothers got Game Boys for Christmas one year, and I did not. And that's okay, you know, because like you know, my mom wanted me to like dolls more than anything. But since my brothers had the Game Boys, like I would just be like looking over their shoulder like the whole time, you know. And my brothers were always good about sharing, so you know, I'd watch them play like Zelda and Mario, you know, like Mario 2, Gold Coins.
Hmm.
But once my dad like recognized that I really was like into the Game Boys too, like he got me one too. So
I was my first handheld was I got it late because I was poor, and we got the Funtastics Clear Game Boy right when the Game Boy Color came out. So all my friends had a Game Boy Color, and I had a Clear Funtastics one, and I had one game, well, other than Tetris, I had.
Yeah, but other than Tetris.
I had Tetris Attack, and that was the only game I had for a very long time. And then I saved up my allowance and had 6 golden coins, and played that one
Nice.
forever. And then my grandpa bought me a Game Gear, and I like was obsessed with Crystal Warriors forever.
That's
That
cool.
was like my jam, and that was like the first tactical RPG game I ever beat. And then I played Great Greed and Mario, you know, the Final Fantasy Legend 2 and 3. Like it was just no turning back from there. The Game Boy and Game Gear were like my childhood.
yeah, like
That's sick.
getting the GBA though was like game changing for me though, because I played the Golden Sun games on it. And like just being able to have an RPG like all to myself, you know, when you have siblings, it's awesome, and it's also like a curse and blessing, or where you know only one of you gets to play the RPG first.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
one
was,
save file on each. Yeah.
yeah, and I was the youngest, so that means I got to play last. But having a handheld meant that I could play the game first all to my own.
That is a big deal, and I completely 100% feel your pain, because I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers growing up.
Wow.
And yeah, so luckily, you know, most of my sisters did not want to play video games, luckily, but one of them did, and my 2 brothers definitely did.
Mhm.
And so like you said, like if we got an RPG, there was only one system, one TV, and a
Yep.
time. Like it's not like we all had our own consoles. That was not how things were back in the day. You were lucky to have your own TV. Like it was. So we would take turns playing the RPGs, and for me, it was frustrating, but also like I kind of cherish those memories because I was like really little,
Yeah.
and like my older brother, watching him play them, like he basically taught me how to read, and he taught me how to like play games, and I got to like learn from watching him so that I could beat Phantasy Star by myself, you know, after watching him do it, you know. So
What I
it's
loved
cool.
about the about the Game Boy days is that the challenge of an RPG was learning that you needed to go into the menu to use a black orb to open a door. And figuring that out didn't make sense for like a year. And you're like, oh, it's just a function of the game that I didn't realize. It wasn't like, where do I go next? It wasn't like, how do I beat this boss? It was like, how do I use the menu to go use an orb? It was
Yeah.
awesome. So cool. And you feel like an idiot once you figure it out. And I loved it.
Oh, God, I have many NES moments where I was stuck, like, and I could go on. That's a whole other topic. I still never beat Zelda 2. I did. There's a part in Zelda 2 where you have to find like 8 magic pots or something like that, and I found 7, and I spent like weeks trying to find that 8th pot. Never found it. So
Right,
still
right.
about it. So yeah, for me it was again, yeah, same thing. I mean, I had Tiger handhelds. I don't know if I had those.
Dude, I did too.
before
I did
a
too.
Game Boy. That might have technically been my first handheld, but honestly,
Yeah.
they were like barely games. They were just like,
Yeah. And the watch, I had the watch Tiger handheld. I don't remember which one I had, but I had one of those, and I played that at school, and you'd hear it like beeping from, you had those hollow like school desks that you'd like put your books in. So I'd like stick my arms in there and I could kind of see it, and I'd play from there, and the beeping would like echo. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
crap. Hide the watch, put the books in front of it. Yeah, it was awesome.
yeah, I had the Batman one. I had a Battletoads one. I had you know which one I had I actually really liked is I had Wizards and Warriors. Do you remember that game? there was a Wizards and Warriors handheld, and it was like black. It looked different from the rest, and I
So
always thought it was wicked badass because it was black. I don't know why. I thought it was so cool, but anyway, I still love that one. But anyway, so if they were all right for what they were, I mean, they were good for a car trip.
And so
But yeah,
was the toy that came before that, which was the water toy where you got to
Yeah.
blow the rings onto the
The
stick.
dolphin.
Yeah.
The dolphin
Yeah.
one was the one I had.
That's everybody's first handheld.
That's you got me there, yeah. Yeah, it was, and then I think video poker. My dad had one of those things too, and then I think they had like a football game. If we're just talking about history, I think they had like a Mattel football game.
Yeah, I still have it, where it's like just red lines. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big one.
I remember being at I think it was a Circuit City in a mall when I was a kid, and they had these like columns that had like Game Boy set up in each side of them. And I was there with my friend, like before they came out. When did they come out? Like late 80s? It was like what, 92, 93 or something like that for Game Boy. Like a year before they came out, they were showing them off, and you could play like Ninja Turtles, and it just blew our minds. They were all set up this way, and being old enough to be able to experience the pre-Game Boy was pretty awesome.
Yes, I've said a million times that like I am so pleased with the moment in time I was born, because I got to experience gaming from its infancy into what it's become now. You know, and it might be better in 1,000 years, but I don't even care. Like, I was so blessed to be able to have a Game Boy and enjoy that, and then have a Game Boy Advance and enjoy that, and then a DS and enjoy. Like, we got to beautiful. Like, I'm so happy with the entertainment that we got to experience, and now it's all falling apart. But it was good. It was a good run.
It's classic. Dr. Mario right there. That's like my favorite. That was the game my mom and I played every single night, and I didn't really have any other friends that played it, because when I tried to play it with them, I was well practiced, we'll say, and that's still like one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, so for my big Game Boy, obviously Tetris is amazing, but the three that I played the most for sure was definitely Six Coin or Mario Land. That game was
one of the best
insane.
ever. Yeah,
I still play that game, still all the time. Like, I'm a huge Metroid 2 fan. Like, I actually do get upset when people like poop on that game.
Dude, that puppet commercial was sick, by the way. The Link's Awakening. Like, come on.
Yeah, all of these commercials are all.
Yeah, I've never seen some of these commercials. It's awesome.
And then the other game that I just absolutely couldn't get enough of was actually Wario Land. That one.
Dude, Wario Land is great.
That was one I had on the Game Boy.
From that moment in time, like, Wario is my favorite Mario character. Number one. Like, anytime in a game I can pick Wario, I am always Wario. Always. I don't care. And it's like so funny to me, because like my nieces, they're like, "This fits you, Uncle Joey. You are Wario." I'm like, "That's right." That's right.
Now get on my motorcycle.
Exactly. I don't know. I just always love it. He's a badass. But that game was just fantastic. I thought it was super fun. And then I did have a Game Gear as well, and Game Gear had some pretty sick commercials too. Like, I like this one a lot. So this kid's playing his
oh dude, yeah. Have you seen
his Nintendo, this thing, and he's like, "Man, this thing sucks. It's just not cutting it."
So what's funny is he's that guy was
colors.
Yes.
Do you remember this kid was in, well, he's not a kid anymore, but he was in Boy Meets World as one of the bullies. And have you seen him now?
Yeah, he's all jacked.
He's jacked, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I think he was on like Joe Rogan's podcast. He is super jacked. Yeah. I remember the squirrel commercial. That was great.
Yeah, he was one of those actors who like said that he lost his career because he lost weight. Like, his whole acting career he was like a big overweight dude, and like all the parts.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he became skinny and jacked, he can't get work and acting anymore. Same thing happened in a way to Jonah Hill, believe it or not. I feel like he has a similar thing where he's trying to be like, "I don't want to be the funny fat guy," and they're like, "No, you have to be the funny fat." He's like, "I don't want to be the funny." They're like, "Fine, well, we're not going to hire you."
So here's a question:
Go out and eat cheeseburgers.
Did you guys ever see a Lynx back then when it was like only Game Boy and Game Gear, or what did you think of it if you did?
A Lynx? Oh, go ahead.
I honestly, I didn't even know they existed, dude, which is weird because like one of my favorite consoles growing up was an Atari Jaguar. But I didn't know that the Lynx was even a thing until I was much older.
So my local game store had one, and it was like prohibitively expensive back then. I don't remember how much it was, but it was prohibitively expensive. But I remember seeing the flying game. That was the thing that was always displayed, was Wings or whatever it's called, or Arrow something. Never owned one.
Yeah, I never had one, and like Mike said, like I don't think I ever even knew about them back in the day. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't even aware.
Yeah, I don't
And
remember even seeing them in the magazines either.
So I have a feeling, Mike, my dad probably purposely avoided letting me know about that existing. He was probably just like, no, dude, that's too expensive. You can't. I don't even want you to know about that. You'll just ask me for it every day, and I'm just gonna say no.
But you know, there was a lot of consoles that were big in the 80s and 90s that I didn't even know existed when I was a kid, because like I had the consoles I had, and I thought that was it. Like when I was a kid, like I didn't know the Game Gear and the Nomad was a thing. I didn't know the Saturn was a thing, but I knew I had a Genesis and I had a Dreamcast, but I didn't know there was an in between.
Or
You know,
TurboGrafx.
Or
Yeah.
TurboGrafx, like no
Way under
idea.
the radar.
Like no
So-
idea, dude, till I was way older. I mean, I thought that the handhelds was Tiger and Game Boy. Like that was it, you know?
Yeah, I remember there was one kid that I knew who had a TurboGrafx, and I went to his house and I played Bonk, and I was blown away. I thought it was
it's incredible.
absolutely amazing. And again, I was like, Dad, can I get one? And they were really expensive.
It was like $600 back then. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking like a Genesis was like 200, 250 or something at the time.
$100 for a long time too.
Yeah. Well, this was probably when it first came out. So like, this was like when Model 1 was the only one and stuff like. So I remember when my dad bought us our first Genesis, it was around $200.
Wow.
And came with we got Alti Beast and Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah.
Gosh, what else did we get? I think those are the two we got that day. Anyway.
Dude, my parents were cheap with the Sega. I mean, I was poor, so like I get one thing all year. When I got the Genesis, my birthday's on the 27th in December, so I got the Genesis for Christmas with like Sonic 2, and then like on my birthday I got Buck Rogers, which is an RPG, and Tyrants, and both are really bad games for the record.
Buck Rogers is collectible though.
It is collectible. Yeah, we have it. It's not bad. It's very.
It's one of them big old super carts or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
it's big. Yeah, it's a big cart.
The big yellow thing on it or whatever.
Well, it's because it's EA. All the EA games have the yellow cart.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Speaking of Genesis, I have to ask really quick because you two are like huge into RPGs, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're talking about Genesis, do you guys have a copy of Crusader of Senti?
No. We've looked at it a few times, but it's just like,
We're dipping our toes into Sega right now. It's been like the last year has been our intro into Sega. Like we're almost done with working designs. We got all the important big ones. So now we're looking into the Genesis ones as we speak.
I mean, Crusader of Senti is a lot of fun. I mean, it's just a Link to the Past clone, but it's a lot of fun. And my buddy who owns a game store out here, I finally saw one in person for the first time. He had a loose cart and it was like $500-$600 just for a loose cartridge. And I'm like, oh, wow. It's not, I don't know if it's that fun.
We have it on the Sega Mini. It's on on that system.
I think they might have put it on the Switch Online membership already.
We might have, might have played it out there.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, that has a lot of things going. It was a really good game. It got released really late in the life cycle, and it was one of those damn cardboard ones. So those cardboard ones, I feel like, fetch a pricier price because it's just hard to find them in better condition. Like even Phantasy Star 4, I think, is more expensive because it's cardboard. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I hate that they did that. What a tragedy. They had the best cases in the world, and then they just drop the ball right at the end there with those stupid things.
Yeah, dude, because I think Crusader of Senti CIB is like $2,000 or something like that.
Oh.
Like, yeah, it's insane, dude.
That's
like it's really up there. Yeah.
Yeah, Genesis collecting's pretty intense.
Which is why I picked the PS2. Because my most expensive game is like $900, and that's for Kuon. So it's a lot cheaper than a lot of other consoles like Holy Grail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Saturn's been expensive, but man, it's been a fun one to look for.
That one's a scary one to dive into because of the price, dude.
And only the RPGs, of course. So
Yeah.
it's prohibitive.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm it's funny. I've been playing a lot of Saturn games lately too, and I've been emulating them because that's I emulate a lot, and then I decide if I want to buy something after. I'm not. I know that people don't believe people like that exist, but I do exist. I actually
I've done
emulate
before.
games, and if I really like them, I'm like this. I have to have a physical copy of this. Like, I just have to.
I mean, there's no more
Soul
Blockbuster.
Yep.
Oh yeah, she played through most of Solo Torobo on her phone.
Well, no, I wasn't sure if it was gonna be worth the price because it was like what $200.
Yeah.
When I was looking at it, and like I put an emulator on my phone and I played a few hours of it, and I'm like, yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
Went on eBay and bought one.
Yep. But I like shmups. And it ain't just RPGs that are a problem on the Saturn, sir. So I was like, oh, let me look at it.
Dude, one of my favorite
Okay.
my favorite shmup of all time is probably Dodonpachi, and I have the Japanese one, and it's so good. So I totally get it. Yeah.
That is absolutely hands down one of the best shmups ever made.
Yeah, I actually, in this store I was shopping at the other day, I just saw a copy of Magic Knight Ray Earth for the Saturn. And it had the original artwork and booklet and the disc or whatever, but it was like in an aftermarket shell or case. It was still a long box shell. It just was a reproduction one, but everything else was original. And I think they were still asking like $400 to $500 for that.
Well,
which I don't know if that's a good price or not, but
that's real good. Yeah.
The fun part about the working design stuff is they make variants on the discs have different. Okay. So Magic Knight Re-Earth has 3 different discs, one of each main character. Yeah. So if you want to go like completely insane and throw all your money in the garbage, you got to collect all the variants too. And they did the same thing with Lunar and Lunar 2 as well. And those ones have a ton of variants. So it's just crazy.
We paid $4 for our Magic Knight Re-Earth, so we're pretty happy.
Oh, $4. How long ago was that?
A couple of years. It was early in our channel. We found a $4 pop.
That you're mixing our RPGs.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
It was
We got a different. Let me show you this.
So it's a rare RPG on.
Oops. Don't worry, just video games.
Just that.
This is the one we got for $4. So my bad.
So this is. Tell them what it is.
It's one of the most rare RPGs and limited print RPGs in existence called AW Phoenix Vesta. This is the Asterisk War series, and this one happens to be sealed. We paid $4 for this one. It's worth about $1,100.
So,
oh my goodness,
man!
So the story behind it, we made a whole series on this early, like the first year of the channel, because we were completing our Vita set during the first year and not 3DS. We had to focus on one, and so we found a pop at a garage sale. This lady was from GameStop and she was selling her whole pop collection. And we went there early in the day and bought some video game stuff. And we came back later at the end of a garage sale and we're like, well, how much for all the pops? You know,
we know nothing about pops.
We didn't know anything about pops, but we have a friend that owns a comic book store and he's like, yeah, if you can get them all like $4 a piece,
then I'll buy them off you.
Then I'll buy them off of you, like kind of thing. So we bought all the pops, took them home, and we scanned all of them to look for like variants, to see if there was any like, crazy rare ones. And one of them was crazy rare.
It was a Greedo, the original run blue label Greedo.
Oh, okay.
And it was worth $1,200.
Goodness gracious! Dude.
I think it was
14 at the time
when we made the video, and so we took the pop to a convention and did a straight trade for this.
Retro Respawn ended up trading us for it, and they sold theirs for I think $1,000, and then they have these for like $800 now. But
Dude,
Yeah.
that's like the best feeling, right? When you go out into the wild and
Yeah.
you find something that you might not necessarily care about, but it's worth a lot of money and you could turn it into something you actually care about. Like that's
Yeah.
the best feeling in the world. I bet you when you scanned that pop, you guys were like, holy cow.
Oh yeah,
Well,
we turned the
well,
camera on.
That's denial for me. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. That's gotta be mistaken. You know, you gotta check all the boxes. Like, okay, well, what's the difference between this one and the $20 one that looks just like it? You know, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's the blue letters. You know,
Dude, that's amazing. That is
and like
amazing.
it's a first print kind of thing. It's just, you know.
Well,
And
this
this
is the
is why.
handheld. This is the handheld show, right?
And this is why I'm trying to tell you guys, you need to go back and watch YouTube from 2014 to 2019 so you can
Oh.
learn all of the stuff so that when you're out in the wild, you'll know which pop is worth it. Like that to me, that was one of the biggest reasons I like to consume that type of content is because I was buying and selling a lot and and I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that gets rid of a game that's worth $1,000 for 20 bucks. I don't want to be that guy who gives away Kuon for 10 bucks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I need to know. So just because I'm into PlayStation now, like that's what I was buying mostly at the time. I'm like, I need to learn more about everything because I'm getting Nintendo stuff. I'm getting all this stuff, and I just need to know. Like, I need to know if I have a 5-screw game, what that means. I need to know these things. Like, even if it's not what I'm collecting.
Oh,
that's gorgeous.
That's beautiful.
That's the handheld score. That's our best score ever at a garage sale. We got that for $5.
That's beautiful.
And it's based
no, you
perfect
didn't, dude.
2017 garage sale.
That is so awesome, dude.
That was our good one.
It was the only video game item he had there.
No, he had just
$5.
PS4 games that I gave him like $10 each for because I wanted this for $5.
And it was like just above my head, you know, because that's where like I'm 5 feet tall, he's 6'4". So like Daniel like reaches up and pulls something down, and I'm just like,
she's shaking. Like, go to the car. Go to the car.
So
What's it worth now?
Oh man, I don't know.
You're like, you cannot make this deal. You go in the car while I talk to this guy.
Man,
you're gonna
Dude,
give us away.
That's
I don't
so
have a good poker
nuts.
face, you know. I like turn like ghost white and start shaking.
700. It's worth about 700 right now.
God, that's awesome, dude. I love that. That's so freaking cool, man. But speaking of handhelds, the very first handheld I ever owned was a Game Boy Color. I played a black and white Game Boy at my aunt's house, and obviously it was Tetris. It was my great aunt, so she's old. All she had was Tetris. Didn't really care about it. But then I got a Game Boy Color, and honestly, you guys, like I'm not the biggest into handhelds, if I'm being honest. But the Game Boy Color era for me was one of the greatest childhood memories I have, because I lived on a street growing up where there were kids from corner to corner. And we all had a Game Boy of some kind.
That's why we experience it.
Dude, and we all had Pokemon games, different versions and link cables. And dude, summers were amazing because we were all best friends. I'm still friends with these guys to this day. Like they were in my wedding, and like we would legit hang out and spend the night at each other's houses, and we would battle and trade all summer long. And I still have my original red version from when I was a kid that I played with all of those guys, and like I still talk to him about it to this day. Like it's just like so many good memories playing this. And what's cool is I don't have the Game Boy Color anymore because it was stolen.
That's not cool.
Yeah, it was stolen off my front porch, and I was really bummed out about it. It had my silver version. Silver's my favorite, probably handheld game of all time. It just maybe it's not the best, but it was like my most cherished game that I loved. But recently, I don't know if you guys know who this is, but Cody with a K.
Yeah.
I won. He was doing a giveaway in his $10,000 game collection series. He was doing a giveaway of a copy of Pokemon Red, which was my first Game Boy game ever, and this Game Boy Color, which was my exact Game Boy Color and my first game. And I was like, the fact that you had these paired together in a giveaway, I have to enter. And I won.
That's
and
awesome.
I gave it to my 3-year-old daughter, and it's her first handheld. And like, it's just like, I don't know, man. It means a lot. Like my 3-year-old looks at it because she has a Switch Lite, and she looks at it and goes, "Dad, it's broken because it's not lit up," you know? So I'm thinking about like keeping the shell and everything original, but actually modding the screen to a backlit screen for her so she will actually use it. But just like to win this, like was super super nostalgic for me, and I'll always keep it just because it was so cool that they were paired together. But mainly, if I'm doing handheld stuff now, I'm usually playing on one of these now, on an Ambernick, something like that.
They're great.
Yeah, they're awesome systems.
They're fun. My daughter loves it. It's great on car rides. And it's a really cool little system. You know what I mean? I've had mine for this model for about 3 or 4 years. And I got it on Amazon for like $100, and thousands of games right at your fingertips, and the screen looks great. So, but I think after the Game Boy Color, I had the purple Game Boy Advanced, and then I had an SP. And then my brother had a PSP growing up that he loved. I never really played the PSP too much. And then the last handheld I got as a kid was, I remember going to KB Toys with my grandmother, and she got us a DS Lite, a black one at KB Toys with Pokemon Pearl, and me and my brother had to share it. But he had a PSP, so he didn't want to play the DS, so I played the DS. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I had an XL, 3DS XL, and now I actually have I'm a big Zelda collector. Like, that's my biggest thing. I have the Zelda 2DS, the green and brown one, still in the original box, and I actually modded it and put like a crap ton of games on it. And so my daughter plays, we have 2 2DSs that are modded, so she plays those. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's my little story about the Game Boy Color. It was just a big part of my childhood with all of my closest friends, and so many good memories on a summer night just playing Pokemon. Like, it was huge for me.
I feel like that's definitely going to be a lot of people's experience. This Pokemon was just a phenomenon, and that was like the first platform that it was really pushed on. And I was a little older, so Pokemon, I just missed Pokemon. Like, I was like 13, 14 maybe when that was getting big, and I was just like, this is a little too kiddie for me. But
I didn't like it either.
I was not I'm not a huge I don't dislike it or anything, but I don't have that like thing with I was a Ninja Turtles Power Rangers guy. That was my generation more than Pokemon. So
when Pokemon Red was out, all I wanted was freaking like Pikachu, and like Pikachu was kind of not easy to find, like so when they came out with Pokemon Yellow, and you have just a little sprite of like Pikachu following you around, you could just turn around and say Pikachu to you like over and over and over. That was like the best thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, it is cute. I'm not gonna argue with that. And I did like Team Rocket was like funny and stuff. I have I like anime, so I mean, it resonated with me just because of that. I was like, anything. I was like,
dude,
cool.
the anime was great back then. Yeah. I think I was same age as you, and it was very much all about Pokemon. Even freaking Hamtaro, when it came out, I was like, what the heck is this? This is wild. Pokemon was amazing back then. Not the games or whatever, but the show was great.
Yeah, like like Dragon Ball Z was one of those things that I think united all the nerds across all
the world
factions in school, like the jocks and the band nerds and like choir. We could all be one with Dragon Ball.
I think you make a really good point, and I do honestly believe that franchise is a unifying franchise across all creeds. Everyone likes that. Like when Akira passed away, there were tributes in South America, North America, Asia. Like, everybody was devastated. Everybody loved that guy, and that. I think Dragon Ball resonates with people because it's just such a good message that just shows you that like life is about training and working hard and discipline, and it has all of those key things about improving yourself through hard work. That like it's just a universally good message that I think resonates with everybody, and no matter what. And you can apply that logic to anything that you do, not just get big and muscly.
Yeah, or whatever. But Piccolo was a better dad than Goku.
that is by far my favorite character in that entire franchise is Piccolo. Like I love that character, dude. Like you
Goku
were saying, like, dude, Dragon Ball Z. And I feel like growing up, like the 3 that like stood out the most to me was probably Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and Pokemon, right? Like those were like the real mainstream ones. Like my wife loves Sailor Moon, and I was Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon growing up. Like that was because I was born in 91. I'm 33. So like that was like prime, like really got, dude, me and all my friends wanted to be Super Saiyans. I remember going to Walmart and buying all the Dragon Ball Z action figures like growing up. And we would, dude, we were such nerds, bro. Like we would like literally grab the toys and we'd be like, huh, huh, and like they're really flying and like doing the super speed fighting and all that. Like we were so into it. And we used to like get in the swimming pool and like spike up our hair and like do like fake like blasts and stuff in the swimming pool. Like we were super nerds, dude. And then they started to come out with like all the games like here in America, because like there were the Japanese ones, you know, if you had a modded PS1 and stuff like that. But like, dude, once Budokai and all that stuff started coming out here, like it was game changing. I loved all of those games. Like they were such a big part of my childhood. Like I loved it, dude.
And now you can play Budokai on a little handheld like this, or your Steam Deck or whatever. I did, since you guys had mentioned, I just wanted to point these out a little bit. One of the things I like about handheld gaming is like there is this new resurgence of these companies making these form factor handhelds.
Oh yeah.
So like these things have been around for a long time, and they didn't really interest me that much, but until they started doing this. This is very, very interesting to me. If you're going to make a Game Boy SP with an SD card slot that's got a backlit screen and a USB-C chart, like all the life quality of life improvements that you get today. Now I'm interested, and this thing's cheap. It's only like it's like $17 to ship it, and then you can get like an extra 128 gig memory card for like another like $20 or whatever, and
the tough
throw
thing,
a bunch of games on it. So.
We were playing a lot of Ambernique, and then we got the analog pockets.
Yeah, because we have such a large physical collection,
and those are just taking over. They're so good.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to do a show on the Mr. PGA soon, because I'm going to be building one, and nice. I've literally been obsessed with that thing for like the last month. I've just been researching and getting files downloaded and getting ready, and I'm going to build. Oh man, I cannot wait. But one of the things that I am very intrigued by is the fact that they're using it in handheld now. So they did make that FPGA analog pocket. That is really cool.
It's such a sweet system. It's perfect.
I'm hoping that we get something like this. This is kind of where I'm going. I want to get like an SP with that. And then I don't know if you guys saw. Let me see if I can find this. I think I have this one too.
I think the analog pocket is such a unique console. The fact that they have all these adapters to play any handheld console you would really want to play from your childhood is like such a sweet idea, and how they were able to make that work. Like it's just because they're all, I'm assuming most of the handhelds, whether you're playing a Lynx or a Game Gear or a Game Boy, I'm sure they all have different architectures, right? And for them to like be able to come up with a system that is able to read and play all the different architectures across so many different generations, it all on one console is really extraordinary. It's really cool the way that's going. I love that.
This interests me a lot too, as I want them to start using FPGA technology to make handhelds for like the Saturn, and for specifically like this, like, because I don't know if you guys have emulated a lot, but emulating Saturn games can be kind of annoying, because like you don't have that gamepad 99% of the time. That's not what you're going to get. You're going to get the 4-button layout with the LR triggers. So you don't have that. And certain games are meant to be played with a certain interface, and this is one of them. Like, I don't want to play Saturn games on anything other than the 6-button gamepads. Like, I don't want to. Like, I really don't. Like, so like these are very, very intriguing to me, and I feel like eventually, I mean, it's got to happen. When Nintendo and Sega and some of these people, they have got to pull their heads out of their asses someday and release their own version of something like this. Like, I'm blown away. Like, why does Nintendo want to do the Switch Online service to sell us games when they could be putting out one of these things every 6 months? They could be like, here's a Nintendo handheld Capcom version, all our Nintendo NES Capcom games. Here's a Konami one. Here's a licensed NES one. They could have one of these things coming out every 6 months. Or what they could do is they could have one that's like a base model and it has internet connection, and you can go on and use your Nintendo Switch Online service on it. Or maybe you can purchase downloadable packs of games because of licensing issues, because they're not going to put like Konami, and they're all going to be like, we want our 5
Yeah.
cents per download or whatever. So whatever. My point is, like, I don't understand why they don't market and use this stuff when there's clearly a huge desire for this stuff. Like, it blows me away.
I think it's because Nintendo makes more money suing all the people that make these things, and they just
do they though? Do they? I mean, I guess. Maybe.
I don't know, man.
You're
I
not
feel
wrong.
like in my head, right? Like there are so many things that I'm like, with Nintendo especially, I'm like, if Nintendo only did this, it would break the internet, right? Like I'm sure there's things you guys can think of. Like if Nintendo came out with this, people would lose their mind and throw their wallets at Nintendo. But for some reason, they don't do like the obvious, right? Like their online service is garbage, like honestly, compared to any other competitor on the market. There are games that I'm just kind of like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not the biggest into Paper Mario, right? But like there are other games for GameCube that I would have much rather seen, and we might still see them, right? Like I'm still waiting for like a Skies of Arcadia. I don't know if we'll ever see that, but like a Skies of Arcadia like remaster on the Switch would be pretty dope, dude. But I don't know, man. Like there's a lot of things I wish Nintendo would do, and they would clean house. Like, but it's Nintendo, dude. They run to a beat of their own drum. So I don't know.
I love these things.
Dude, I love the Super Famicom style everything.
Yeah,
that's dope, dude.
And it's like the form factor of the controller. I just like these companies. The Ambernics got it right. These companies got to figure it out. Real quick, I want to read Mario for $5 said, remember the prices of Dragon Ball VHS tapes when they came out? Yeah, dude, I do remember, man.
Dude, people still ask a lot for those. Like they're up there.
I have a couple of them still from like the Great Saiyaman and Majin Buu era, just like randomly from when I was a kid. I don't know what they go for, but whenever we have time in the podcast, speaking of VHS, I have something that when we do the pickups later, I have something that Dan and Elisa need to see, because they might even have this, but I was blown away when I found this from Japan, and it has to do with anime VHS, and I think you would get a kick out of it.
Oh. Well, we got a lot of other handhelds to talk about. Let's just move on a little bit. Did you guys have a Game Boy Advance?
Yes.
This is one of my favorite systems of all time.
It is such a comprehensive library. Nothing else has come close. You can do everything on that thing.
Minish Cap. Was awesome.
Minish Cap is
like real good.
It's my second favorite Zelda of all time for sure. Although I mean I love Zelda. I'm a 2D Zelda guy first off. I'm not really into the 3D games. I'm obsessed with the 2D games.
Tears of the Kingdom is so good.
It's not. I don't dislike it. I just I don't know. It's intimidating to me. Games when people are like, "This I've been playing for 200 hours and I've only done 8%." I'm like, "Oh, fuck that." No, I don't. So that'll be a retirement game, and I literally I will or a vacation game. I actually I looked at my work the other day and I have 260 hours of PTO. And so I told my boss, I'm like, "Hey, I'm just gonna take some time because I'm gonna start losing this shit. So I'm just gonna burn a bunch. So I'm gonna play some RPGs while I'm on vacation. That's what I like.
Yeah,
I'd like to just take a week off and just total no life it. Don't take showers. Just sit on the couch. Just stay up till 4 a.m. eating Doritos. Just being gross. That's my plan."
Dude, I used to take off vacation. I took a week vacation every time a new Final Fantasy came out.
Hell yeah.
And now I need my vacation for, my bones, but, otherwise I'm good.
I used to do it for every World of Warcraft launch. I would take like a week or two off because I was in like a top, we were like the top 50 US guild.
Same.
It was like a job. So it was like literally like you would get kicked the hell out of the guild if you weren't like ready for raid. Yep. You better go. So it was like another job. Yeah. I was also a WoW guy for a long time. I probably could have got better grades in college had I not been in WoW. And I was a full-time shadow priest for a long time in a top rating guild. And it's one of those, it was awesome, but I have sworn off of MMOs and I will not go back. Otherwise I will not be able to play any of these games ever again.
Oh, dude, I have such a big Blizzard collection. I have been playing since on my Power Macintosh back in the 90s, the original Diablo 1. Oh, yeah. And I remember playing Orcs versus Humans on floppy disk, like at my uncle's house. Like dude, I have such a big WoW collection of just like stuff I've collected over the years. I have stuff from BlizzCons, like BlizzCon exclusive items, and I've never been to a BlizzCon before. Like I just would buy everything if it had Blizzard on it, and then
That's how it used to be. They used to be the greatest company in the world.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I loved them.
If you heard a Blizzard game was coming out, you knew you were getting something incredible. You knew you were going to get like, dude, Warcraft 2, Diablo 1 to StarCraft. Holy crap!
Oh, dude,
Holy
absolutely.
Crap. And then Warcraft 3, amazing.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft when it came out, amazing. Amazing. And then StarCraft 2, it was good. Diablo 3, that's when it all started to kind of
Random MMO question. Did you guys ever play Ragnarok Online?
No. I played I was when World of Warcraft came out in 2005, right? Like I was really big into a NCSoft Korean MMO called Lineage 2. And I played Lineage 2 up until Cataclysm was ending, and that's when I jumped into World of Warcraft. Was right at the end of Cataclysm, beginning of like Mists of Pandaria is when I started playing WoW, because I was really into Lineage 2 for a lot of years. That and like Star Wars Galaxies was another big MMO that I played.
That's where everyone retired, by the way. I stopped during the end of Cataclysm.
That's exactly when I stopped too. End of Cataclysm.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, dude? I really liked Mists of Pandaria, and I was like super pumped for the next one. And then Warlords of Draenor came out, and I'm like, this is dog shit. Like, this is really bad. And I quit playing it. And then when WoW Classic came out, I no-lifed the hell out of WoW Classic. And I literally, like, this was before we had kids. And my wife, like, I was eating dinner at the computer desk. Like, I felt like I was back in high school playing MMOs for the first time. Like, I couldn't get enough. Like, played in like a top rating guild, was really into it, played a priest for the very first time. Like, I was just really into it. And then I just kind of realized that I don't have time to play MMOs anymore with two kids and a full-time job. It's like, I can't dedicate my life to no-lifing these games to be somewhat competitive in them anymore. It's just not reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a topic I could talk about for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But I will just say this. WoW is not healthy.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's
Dude,
really not.
So much
It is
money.
fun.
Oh, man.
If you want to have a lot of fun and you got nothing else to do, it's cool. But for me, it became something that interfered with my actual life.
Same.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
And that is when that's not cool anymore. When
Dude.
I got to the point where, like, do you want to come to your cousin's birthday? And I'm like, no,
I got a raid
I
tonight.
have to I have a big test tomorrow, and I'm just raiding. You know, I
Dude, and that's crazy, bro.
You want to go
because,
to Bruins games? Free tickets, front row seats. I'm like, no, I gotta rate. You know, it's like it was literally, and because I was an officer too, and like you feel there's all this sorts of social anxiety, social pressure. So it's not like I tried to explain to people. I'm like, if I don't play tonight, 40 people can't play tonight.
Yeah.
What server were
I'm
you in?
running the raid.
What server were you in?
Storm
I
Rage.
started off on Lothar, and then we transferred to Shattered Hand. I was in Tyranny. Was my guild.
I was in Paramore.
Oh, Paramore. I absolutely know who Paramore is. Yeah.
But dude, that was like a common thing for a lot of people.
You guys were way better than
MMOs.
Kill It With Fire way back in the day. Yeah, that was good times.
Dude,
we
did.
We were
go ahead, I'm
server
sorry.
first on our server, though. We got all the.
Yeah.
I got Death's Demise. We got all the. I had all the. So that's the thing. It is addicting, bro. If you are in the elite and you are getting those mounts,
You know,
it will,
yeah.
it
Check
was
every day to
addicting.
see where you rank against other Shadow Priests. Yeah, that was good times.
But dude, like, did you guys ever see those videos there's a particular one that Happy Console Gamer did where he talks about his period of his life where he was playing Final Fantasy 11 and how he'll never play another MMO again because of how unhealthy his life had become playing Final Fantasy 11. And dude, when he was explaining it, how he was no-lifing it and like cut his life off from his friends, his family, just like living in his living room and like eating a bunch of junk food, not like sleeping well, and just like practically living on his couch playing this game. It was like, I felt like I was listening to like, damn, bro, that's how you used to do it when you were growing up. Like, and it got to a point where like I had gotten into a lot of trouble with my parents playing Lineage 2. I was young, I was probably 12, 13 years old. And I was the guy who would buy the fake money from like the Korean sites because I wanted the gold because I didn't want to grind that much or whatever. And I had actually used like my parents' debit card so much, like that here and there they'd be like, yeah, you can spend $10 or whatever, but I had started using it without their permission because I got so addicted at like 12 years old buying this gold for Lineage 2 that one day like my mom had called me. I was at my grandma's house because she had a computer there, so if I was at my grandma's I was still playing Lineage 2, and my mom calls me and goes, hey, so is there a reason why the house payment check bounced? And I'm like, and she's like, why did you, like, hundreds and hundreds of dollars I spent and didn't even realize it. And that was the moment where my parents like stepped in and took the computer out of my bedroom and put it in their bedroom. And like, if I was going to play, it was on their time and on their schedule. And it was like, so MMOs just got to be really unhealthy for me when I was a kid. And it just, I had to step away from them, dude, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean?
I do know. So I think this is the progression I went. I started off console gamer, had some handhelds, and I always thought handhelds were like kind of like inferior. They were always like they're on the go, they're not as good, but they'll do. And then I moved into like the PC master race, and I'm like PC. That's all I did. And I missed, like I've regretted this. I missed the entire Xbox 360 PS3 generation for console gaming.
Really?
Played like nothing. So I have a nice PS3 collection, and I played like 2 of them. I still haven't really.
With NES, like she skipped NES.
Just missed it.
She was with Amiga.
Yeah, I was in
Europe.
Europe.
That's cooler though. Amiga's cooler.
I was living in Europe when the NES came out, and the Amiga was popular in Europe. So when we came back stateside, everyone had an NES, and I was just like, but the graphics are so much better on the Amiga.
You're right. It was. So we had I did a show with some people from Romania, and like they like in Europe, like nobody had nostalgia for the NES because it just nobody had it. Like you said, it was all Commodore 64, it was Amiga, it was ZX Spectrum, it was all like those home PCs. That's like what they were all nostalgic for in the 90s because it just wasn't really available in a lot of the countries. And then in South America, they all have the nostalgia for the Master System because that's all they had. They didn't have really anything else. That's all they played. So it is cool, like regionally, what people have nostalgia for.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I eventually, now in my wise old age, I have actually come to the conclusion that handheld gaming is the superior. It is the best play. It is the best. It is better than anything else because it is the only type of gaming that exists that still allows me to be social and interact with my family and still be a weirdo who plays games all the time. It lets me do both. I can actually hang out in the living room, talk to my fam, talk to my girlfriend, watch TV, eat dinner, whatever, and just play a game on a handheld. And it's like not bothering anybody, and I'm not taking up the TV. And it's just, I just love it. And and then my girlfriend, she's got her own handheld, and she's playing what she wants to play, and I'm playing what I want to play, and we're watching what we all both want to watch. It's just it's a very social, antisocial, and social thing. Whereas opposed to like VR, I feel is the total opposite. Like when I play VR, I feel terrible because I'm literally completely ignoring my entire life.
Yep.
The actual universe. I am ignoring reality itself. I'm literally in another realm. And so I like that, and it's fun, but I feel guilty. So that's why I love handheld gaming because it's just so sick. And especially if you're like into retro games, man, is it sick right now because you can just sit there. Like I got a Steam Deck. I don't know if you guys have a Steam Deck.
We
do. Yeah.
Yes. And again, I didn't want to get I want to talk about consoles, the actual handhelds, before I got into the Steam Deck. But it is, if you're into retro gaming, oh my God, is this thing the best? I've played more retro games since I've gotten my Steam Deck than like ever before in my life because I'm just constantly cycling through them. Oh yeah, dude. Like I played so many Saturn games recently. I don't know. I just like, I'll pick a console and just play games from that console for like weeks. and weeks and weeks and weeks, and then just be like, oh, Dreamcast time, even though I know Mike doesn't like it.
Well, because the Steam Deck is easy to mod, right, and make it basically like an Ambernick, right?
You
Like
can put RetroArch on it, real easy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I also heard a lot of people were taking them and modding them and putting Switch games on them, and it runs better on there than on the actual Switch.
Well, it's Linux based and not Windows, so
It's pretty easy to work with.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't condone. I never, ever pirate a current system. Just so you know, that's like where my moral stance is. Like, I do not download anything while it's in its current life cycle and available to purchase.
I agree.
Like, I will not download and emulate Switch until they're no longer selling them or something. You know what I mean?
I don't think we have. I don't think we've emulated anything that's current.
No, the last thing that when the Wii was out and was like current, that I did mod my Wii because I was broke. You know, like I didn't have any money. Like one of my friends modded the Wii for me.
So I did mod my Wii U, but
same.
I only burned Wii games onto it. I bought the Wii U games for the Wii U. And then what I did is I put a hard drive in there so you could just stick in your Wii games and just burns them to the hard drive. And I sold my whole Wii collection when I did that. And so I still have a physical Wii U collection for the Wii U, but then I have it modded for Game Boy and for Wii.
Yeah, I have a modded Wii U and a modded Wii with like thousands of retro games on there. And dude, they're great. It's awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. The modded Wii U, I highly recommend people doing that. They're cheap too. You can get a Wii U for like $100. Get a hard drive, throw it on there. Yeah, dude, you can do a lot of fun stuff with it. So
during the same like time, I had a PSP. Like, so I had a Wii.
PSP. That's a great transition.
Same time. And I had a friend mod that too because like I got my PSP from GameStop like used, and it wasn't like quite out of the life cycle yet. It was before the Vita. But I feel like the PSP had like a long life cycle, right? And anyways, one of my friends modded that for me too, so because I was broke.
PSP is glorious. It's something that I feel like even though I've played a lot of, I don't go back to enough because there's just so much.
It's
like we have every RPG released on it, and I just want to play all of them.
Yeah.
So that's where so there's two things I think the PSP does amazingly well. It's RPGs, obviously. It is it's absurd how many there are, and really good ones too.
Yeah,
like there's some stinkers, but dude, like the Trail series, the Ease series, Lunar, there is the Star Ocean games. There are some bangers on that system. And then it's got like a ton of awesome racing games. If you like,
I was hoping you'd say that. Yeah, it's some of the. It has Split Second, which is one of my favorite racing games of all time.
Yep.
And dude, I love
all the Need for Speeds.
Yeah, Outrun's fantastic on it. It's so good.
Yep, Outrun's on it. Like literally everything's on it. So those are my two favorite things for that system. And the one analog thing is a little meh, but like I use the actual D-pad for the most part when I play PSP. I rarely use that thing. So yeah, I mean there are some games where you need it, but like I find that most of the time I don't need it. So.
Oh, I have a handheld question for you guys. So one console that I had missed, and I know you guys love it and you make a lot of videos on it. A Vita, right? Like I kind of want one, and I've kind of wanted one for a while, but I also am not going to get into Vita collecting, so I'm going to mod the hell out of it and just put the games on it. Right now, can you put not only the Vita games on there, but can you put PSP games on the Vita as well?
Oh yeah,
their store is still active. You can still buy PSP games on the Vita Online store.
Ah, okay.
In a roundabout way, because the credit card, checkout stuff is kind of weird.
Okay, and then last question about it. I know that there are multiple models. Like the first model has the OLED screen, right? And then the later models do not. So
that's our favorite.
That's the very first Vita model is the one you guys recommend picking up?
I do. She likes the slimmer model.
I like the slim because it's lighter weight, and I have really small hand. I wear kid-size gloves.
Okay. All right. It's definitely one. What's a good price to pay for not in the box, but just like a good in shape Vita? Just like,
aren't they around $100?
That's not too bad.
We're not sure what the current
they're
pricing
about
is.
$100.
But you know,
Wow.
I would just keep an eye on your local listings. You know, wait for it to pop up on like Facebook for
Well,
dirt cheap.
what sucks is like, so I live in Northern California, and like I'm about an hour from San Francisco, hour and a half, and like here it is impossible. Like, it's not impossible, it's very hard to find good deals on anything locally because there is a very large community of resellers, and they swoop up a lot of the good stuff on Facebook Marketplace very quickly. That, or the people selling this stuff think that all of their stuff is worth gold, and they
They're
want
looking at DK Oldies
Yeah.
pricing.
yeah, they want obscene prices for their stuff, and I'm just like, dude, I can't pay what you guys are asking. That's ridiculous. But so it is hard to find stuff here in Northern California. The flea markets are essentially dead. You might get lucky once in a blue moon. Yard sales are dead because you got the reseller dude there like an hour before it even opens, knocking on the person's door trying to buy their whole lot of games beforehand. And it's like, it's rough, dude. Like it's definitely a hustle out here. I know it's different in other places, but yeah, the Vita is one I definitely am looking at picking up to get into handheld a little bit more.
Well, you know, it's the price you pay for convenience. You can pay up and get you know, something nice like that, or you can get out there and look for you know, the yellow cars, right?
Yeah.
Like if you I think if you like really concentrate on finding something,
You'll get it.
You'll get it. Or
Yeah.
you know, if you don't want to put in the time, then you know, there's plenty of nice local game stores out there, and
Yeah.
or just online.
Joe, are you a Vita guy?
Oh, I love the Vita. Absolutely.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
are some of your favorites on that one? Because we don't hear many people that like it much.
I think the Killzone game is great.
Killzone's awesome on that console.
Tales of Heart R is an insanely good
Oh,
exclusive
yeah.
on that game.
Still stuck on Vita. Yep.
Yep. I like gosh, I'd have to see what I even have.
Hot Shots Golf World Invitational is probably the best. That's the best version of Hot Shots Golf ever released, by the way.
Hot Shots, it is good. I have Ease 8, I have Saldner X2.
That game didn't run that well, unfortunately. The Ease 8 didn't run that well on that one.
I have Darius Burst. I think the Uncharted is really good. Persona 4 Golden, obviously, but that just got ported everywhere.
Yeah.
I got Memory of Salsetta. So I don't have a huge Vita collection, but yeah, those are definitely the ones I like. I like the ones that are like were designed for it, kind of like that's why I like the Uncharted game. And I go for mostly exclusives for it. So I didn't. There's a lot of like visual novels and stuff on that system. That's why I don't really go for stuff like that. But it's a good system, and it's I mean the original model, the OLED model, I think is still one of the nicest handheld screens like there is.
You're saying you don't have any Otome games?
I do not have a lot of No,
There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
there are. I heard they're making one about everybody who comes on this podcast, so be careful.
Oh, probably. Yeah. That'll be quite the party.
I got nothing against those games. I just know that I do. So
It's like funny collecting for the PS Vita and like, what is this game? Oh, it's another Otome game.
Is it the original novel or
sweet, I
Otome?
guess I'm playing this one.
Yeah.
that's yeah. So the library is a little weird for what we got in the West. There was a lot of cool limited run stuff too, but
Yeah.
It obviously just didn't get supported is the problem. And then the memory cards. Did you guys see this? I just wanted to mention this. Did you see the Ain Odin mini they're making? This is like basically they're making a new Vita.
Yeah.
If you saw that. So if you want the form factor, Mike, and if you're literally like, I'm just going to mod it and download all the games, you may want to look into something like this.
Will this thing run Vita games like well, you think? Or yeah.
Yes.
Probably.
It's going to be about 4 or 5 times more expensive than a Vita, though.
Well, but I mean, here's my question though. Like, if I'm going to do something like this, right? Like, what if I just went out and bought like a used Steam Deck for like $200-300? Could I put Vita games on the Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's massive though. That thing
It's
weighs
twice
like
the width.
it
of
weighs like 20 pounds. It's not so
Yeah.
portable.
Yeah, I mean, so like with the Steam Deck, that doesn't that have like a cord or something that can also play on your TV like a Switch kind of does? Like, isn't there a way to play your Vita or or the dock. Yeah. I've been looking at getting one of those. I mean, I think the Steam Deck would be really cool just to like play, retro games on and like play like AAA titles. That would be pretty dope.
So I like the Steam Deck. To me is a great handheld for home, but I would never take it anywhere.
Agreed. It's
right.
just too big. Yeah.
It's too big. It's too expensive. I'm all set with that. I ordered one of those little clamshell Ambernick things specifically because I wanted an actual pocketable handheld device that I could take somewhere with me. And like that little SP thing, that's reasonable. This little Vita thing, that's probably even a little too big for what I want. That's why I like those little micro things. For handheld, I want it to be really small. Right. But I love like the Vita. The Steam Deck. That's like having a Cadillac. You know what I mean? It's like the nice thing you own. It's you don't you take it out on Sundays. You use it at home. You take care of it. You wash it. You keep it clean. Like it's I don't know, but it is the ultimate. The ultimate.
I had to hook up a controller to it because I was trying to play an RPG on it for more than like an hour. My wrists, wrists were like hurting.
Yeah.
Bad. And I'm fairly strong. Like, even though I might not look like it, but like
Elisa's a competitive powerlifter, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh shit!
So I could lift some things, but like, man, playing on the Steam Deck is.
I use a pillow. I use a pillow when I play.
We have the Volare pillow.
In my lap.
I freaking love them.
Yeah,
and I put it on there because it's like you said. It's if you just hold it, it is absolutely too heavy, and you will like get tired holding it.
Oh yeah, dude! I had never actually seen one in person until Mother's Day. We went to a retro game store in Sacramento, and they had a Steam Deck for sale, and I'd never seen one in person. This thing's freaking massive, dude. I'm like, holy crap, dude! Like, I could totally get it. It would probably like playing in handheld mode. It'd probably just be uncomfortable after a while, unless you were using some type of lap pillow or desk or something, and But it's definitely one I've been considering for one day. But a used one, I don't need like a $700 brand new one or the newest model or anything like that.
We use the Volare pillows. We're like obsessed with them. We don't game without them anymore.
Yeah, they
they're
look
like wraparound pillows.
They look kind of like
a
pool floaty, but they're like totally worth it.
We felt silly for liking it, and then after we got them, we're like, okay, we're not gaming without this anymore.
Yeah, like
sick. No, dude.
Once you're over the age of like 30 and you're gaming for more than an hour, you need like to prop up your wrists ergonomically,
So that's a whole other topic with handhelds. Is I use grips on like everything. I don't know about you guys, but like I have a handheld grip for my 3DS. I have a handheld grip for my PSP. I have a grip for my Vita. The only one I don't have a grip for is the Steam Deck because it's just fine. It's just fine. Yeah. It's the tank. I can hold that thing no problem. But the smaller ones, I do need to like get something for, which I'm actually really excited too. Why? You guys, do you do Evercade at all?
No, I'm not a fan of the stick.
No. So, I mean,
D-pad.
There's a lot of things that are criticizable about it, but overall I think it's a great system, and I'm just really excited because they came out with a new grip to hold it in tate mode, so you can actually play like this now. So they have that. So I just pre-ordered that. They're coming out in June. But yeah, that's like that was the reason. That's what sold me on getting one of these. I didn't get into this until they announced this like special edition one, and they said that they were adding the tate mode so you can play shmup sideways. I was like, okay, I'm sold. That's cool.
You have the flip grip for the Switch, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely obsessed with
the pinball games.
Yes,
so
amazing
good.
for that. Yeah, amazing for shmups.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love the flip grip. I think that's like a must own. Did they come out with an official one for the OLED ever? Because I have
Fangamer has it.
They do have one finally. Yeah, because I ended up I got the original one and then I ended up getting like one off of Etsy for my OLED because it didn't work on the OLED one, and I was addicted to it. Like I can't go back to playing shmups
right
the regular way like a peasant. Absolutely not. But then it gets into that whole what do you use for your Joy-Cons for the grip, because I hate actual Joy-Cons. I think they're too small.
Yeah, I don't mind them.
Same.
They're small, but I don't mind them.
I'm going to have to pick your guys' brains about shmups because that's one category of games that I've always wanted to get into, but
Mhm.
I'm not super huge into sci-fi. I like high fantasy, elves and magic
shoot 'em
and
up.
stuff. So
Mhm.
what would you say? Like, I mean, you can answer this later with DM or whatever, but I want to know some of the like really good ones for like more modern consoles that's like fantasy themed, like for shmups.
Get all the
What-
shoot 'em up. Like you
For
probably like
modern
Oh,
consoles?
Death Smile.
Death
Death
Smile.
Smile. That's one I was looking at because like
Yeah.
360 is hot right now, and I thought about getting a copy for the 360,
Well, they
but
just ported it. To
Yeah, it's on
Switch.
modern
it's on
console.
Switch. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on Switch. Yeah, that was one I was looking at for sure.
Get all the Cotton games.
Okay.
Cottons, I would recommend. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how old you want to go, but like Elemental Master and the Genesis is a good one. The Gunbird games are kind of like that, I'd say.
Gunbird, yeah.
Dragon Spirit, I think it's called.
For NES.
You're a dragon.
Vertical, yeah.
There's a few that are fantasy
Okay.
based for sure, but for me, it's like shmups. Whatever. I don't care if it's a cute 'em up, a demon, a spaceship. I don't care. Just let me dodge them bullets. For me,
You know, a good one is here, Joe. I'm sure you've played it. It's what is it? The Maid.
Yeah, that's what I was just
Oh
thinking
gosh,
of.
I'm trying to remember the name.
it's Milkshake Dragon Maid.
No,
Blah, blah,
blah.
no, it's not the Dragon
man,
Maid
it's
one.
gonna drive me nuts. I'm hoping you've played it. It's it was a Play-Asia release, and it's really good. I think I can hear the theme song in my head from the anime, but I don't remember the
Miss Kobayashi's,
Miss Kobayashi's
Dragon Maid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I heard that one. That's a good
That
one.
was a good one.
Yeah, that one is very odd that is a shmup.
Right.
If you've seen the anime, the frick does it have to do with shmups? Like
Well, they're dragons.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
get
that's
okay.
something-
Yeah.
Same thing goes for You to Kill. I mean, like, it's a visual novel shmup.
That one, it was hilarious. I remember I was hyped for that, and I remember hyping that came up in other people's channels, like, "Oh, this game looks so good! I can't wait for it to come out." And then it came out, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" It's so weird. I was like, so when I heard it was a visual novel with shmups, I expected it to be like a shmup with maybe like a 5-minute cutscene or something. No. It's like 45 minutes of visual novel and then 5 minutes of
And then a
shmup, and
little
then
shmup,
45 minutes of this, and then all of a sudden you're playing a shmup. It's very weird. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I'm into strange, unique games at this point. Like I like games that are kind of like, well,
Yes.
I've never played anything else like this, so at least I'll give it that. That's kind of cool. Incorporating visual novels into other that can be good. Like I just got those I'm not saying
Utawada Mono. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're way better at that. You should have been here last week when I tried to do that.
Nice and slow for the
Utawada Mono. I speak Japanese, so it helps. But yeah, otherwise it's.
I definitely think that would help. Yeah. But yeah, those are basically visual novels and then some strategy RPG every once in a while. So that's kind of like similar in that way. And those games are dope. So
the recent weirdest game I've ever beat in my life it's called Murder by Numbers, and it's a visual. It's Ace Attorney meets Picross, and I'm a Picross, like I'm obsessed with Picross recently, and that was a super fun one.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard of that one. A lot of visual novels are like one of my weakest genres. There's so many of them. Like I'm similar to the anime. Like I like anime, but I only know like maybe 2% of what's out there. Which is still a lot, but
anime.
There's so much. It's just it's a lot. Oh God, I lost my train of thought.
So we talking about Square Enix?
Well, we want to do the quiz first. We should do the quiz first. Then we'll talk about Square Enix. All right. Well, this was we're going past 2 hours, guys. I hope you're. We haven't talked about
Saturday.
It's Saturday, dude.
That's right. That's right. It's a good show too. All right. So let me get all the way up here. Around. It's quiz time. Oh yeah.
Love the background.
Yeah, you like that one? Yeah. So I Yeah, I spent like maybe 2 or 3 hours the other day just going and finding all these amazing pixel arted fighting game levels for the quiz. I just think it's a good theme. Dude, pixel art,
Mm,
best.
glorious.
Literally is the best. I'm definitely one of those people who's like, I like everything old. I don't like modern CGI in movies. I like practical effects. I like old pixel art. I just like the way things used to look. I don't like how modern stuff looks. It all looks fake to me. Like this obviously looks fake, but it's pretty. Like it's
Yeah.
not trying to trick me into making me think it's real.
Right.
It's artistic.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's very artistic. All right, so this quiz is a little different. So the way this works is there's 4 categories. There's PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PSP, and the Nintendo DS. And the point of the game is you guys have to try to guess what the top 3 selling Final Fantasy games were for each platform.
I'm
PS1,
screwed.
PS2, PSP.
I'm screwed, he says.
And the way it works is you'll each take turns. You can pick for a different category. You can pick whatever one you want, and you can guess what you think. And if you get it right, you get the points. If you get the first most popular one, it's worth 3 points. If you get the second most popular one, it's 2 points. And if you get the third place one, it's worth 1 point. And if you guess a game that's not right, you get no points.
There were like only 3 on some of
Okay.
these. Anyways, okay.
Some of these they're not that.
So I have a
But
chance.
it's more guessing what you think was the best selling.
Is it NTSC though, or
It's worldwide.
Worldwide.
It's
Okay.
Oh,
worldwide.
that's
So hold
gonna
on.
be
He actually did.
Shit.
Pavel did actually have a thing. He said, I'll read it. This is based off of the sales prices for worldwide on VGCharts.com data is where you got the data.
Okay.
So who would like to go first?
Let Mike start.
Okay. Thanks.
You can pick PS1, PS2, PSP, Nintendo DS. Try to guess which one.
I'm not doing handhelds at all because, let's go PS2.
All right. So what do you think?
The easy ones out of the way. All right.
Yep. Final Fantasy X is the best selling. Then probably.
Oh, wait,
10
that's it. Stop. Just
Oh.
one at a time. One at a time.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
a strategy to this. You can bounce around. So you
Okay.
want to say you think Final Fantasy X is the best selling. That is correct. So that's worth 3
Okay.
points. Very nice. Now you guys get a turn. At least I think this is how this is supposed
Do
to
we
work.
have to pick the console again or stick
Yep.
with it? Okay.
Yep. So that's where the strategy comes in. You can keep
PS1.
guessing PS2,
Yeah,
or you can try to get
PS1.
the number one on a different platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. PS1, Final Fantasy 7, clearly.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yep. That's worth 3 points.
Let's go PS2 again. I'm gonna say 10-2 probably sold better than 12. Oh fuck. Sorry. Yeah, I already said it. 10-2. I'm probably wrong, but I don't know, man. I thought maybe people were like, oh, it's like 10, so it's gonna. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go 10-2.
So 10-2 was the third most popular.
Okay.
So you get 1 point.
Okay.
So we have to pick a best. We can do DS or PSP for the best. I think PSP we know.
Yeah, I think PSP is.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, PSP.
All right.
Crisis Core.
Crisis Core is number 1. Very
And
nice.
I don't even know any other Final Fantasy games on that console, dude. We'll go PS1, and I'm gonna say it's not Chocobo Dungeon 2.
You are correct.
I would say probably Dan's favorite Final Fantasy 8. It's probably the next best one.
I think that's third.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
8 was worldwide number 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I was like,
Because
man,
people bought it before some of them didn't realize it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that was my thought. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
dude, 7. There was so much hype for 7 that people just
Mm.
bought 8 without even like looking at it. They were just like, oh,
Right.
7 was great.
Exactly. There was a lot of hype for it, and then they were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yes."
All right, you guys.
The DS.
DS is kind of tough, in my opinion.
It's obviously.
probably.
I think just because of the lack of release.
Oh wait, what are we doing? DS.
DS.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think that's right.
Probably
So
right.
we're gonna pick DS, and we're thinking it's probably 3 because that was the first time it came stateside. So people were excited for it.
You are correct, sir.
Yes.
Very nicely done. It is Final Fantasy 3. Sold 2.3 million. Oh yeah, I have the numbers. I should probably be giving them. You took the time to write them down. I should probably say, yeah, that one sold 2.3 million. It was number 1.
We'll go PS1 again, and I'll say 9 is a clear choice. Are we doing the spin-off side games too, like Chocobo Dungeon and all that, or is this
Top
just
3
like
sold. Just the top 3.
Oh, it's
sold.
just the top 3. Okay, so yeah, 9.
Yes, 9 is the third popular one. You are correct.
Okay.
So we've already got the tops. So now we just got
PS1 is done.
PS1 is done. Okay, so
So I
if
can
we
actually
do
show the
PS2
little show
again.
the little answer. There you go.
we'll do PS2 so we can take it from them.
Oh,
It's
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 the
gonna be
strategy,
12.
dude.
12.
It's
number
the,
two.
It is 12.
it's
That
the
was the number
strategy. I
2.
love it because, like, dude, I don't know any DS or
Yeah.
PSP Final Fantasy, so
Shut
now
up.
I'm just gonna
Figure
be
out every single
spitballing.
one of these
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
You shouldn't have exposed your weakness at the beginning of the game.
I know. Okay, so let's go with
So PS2's done, PS1's done, and we just have PSP and DS left.
let's
Yeah,
go
PS.
DS and
Challenge
just
you.
throw one out there. Which ones do I know exist? I know that there is Tactics on there. Right?
Which
Let's
system are
say
you doing?
DS.
Okay.
It's on Game Boy Advanced. Tactics is on Advanced. I don't know if it's on the DS, dude. Let's go Final Fantasy 1. Did it get a classics or no, that's fucking Advanced too. The black boxes. It's not DS. Okay, let's go Final Fantasy 1 for the DS. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
No,
one. No
bummer.
one.
We're gonna double.
No, it's
we're-
no, it is. Yeah.
I'll just double check the collection.
So what'd you say?
I said 1.
One? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big.
we can go easy and pick PSP.
Should we go PSP?
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be Tactics War of the Lions on PSP.
Tactics was the third.
Oh,
Ah.
okay. We know what the second one is then.
Sold 1 million,
Oh,
which
Again,
is
you
sad
pulling out
to
the
me.
phone? Are you pulling out the phone?
No cheating.
Not because I'm like looking up I swear on my kids, I'm not looking up how many were sold. I just don't know any. Like, I have no idea what's on there at all. The only reason I even guessed 1 was because you said 3, and I was like, well, maybe there's a 1 and 2 on there.
If you want, I have some music that will help you focus. You ready?
Final Fantasy music. Oh,
Yeah,
that's not-
sort of. This helps everybody focus. Ready?
Sonic is drowned.
It's the
Fi-
worst.
fi-
It's like the worst. It's like worse than an alarm clock.
Oh, it's so
like the worst.
Oh, man.
I guess let's do DS and let's throw out. I liked it on the GameCube. I'm sure it's a different game, but Crystal Chronicles,
Echoes in Time. Huh.
Did not make the list, sir.
dude.
So for DS, 4, I think would be.
No, that's
No.
PSP.
Oh, I'm sorry, PSP 4.
It's not PSP 4.
For the second
Really?
one, really?
Mm-mm. No.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Because we already said Crisis Core.
Mm-hmm. And
And,
Tactics. This one surprised me too. Let's put it that way. It's your turn, Mike.
Oh, okay. Let's do
We did Tactics.
let's do the DS again, and we'll go with
It's number
4.
He's stealing your answer. It's definitely right.
I'm
That's a
swapping
good move.
consoles.
That's a good move. It on the DS, Final Fantasy 4 was number 2.
Okay.
So 1.2 million.
Yeah.
Score.
So now we only have one left on the DS and one left on the PSP.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Dissidia on PSP.
Nailed it.
That makes
is it.
sense. Yeah.
That is it.
I don't even know if this game's on here. But let's go Final Fantasy 6. Is there a 6? Did they put 6 on there?
On what? On DS?
On DS?
Shit. Don't know. I think it's maybe in a compilation, but that's not the right answer either way. No.
So we got the first and the second one on DS, right?
Yes, 3 was number 1, 4 was number 2.
So it's probably it's got to be because it's not going to be Revenant Wings or Echoes in Time. It's going to be.
I don't know. It's pretty obscure.
Yeah.
Throw it out there.
It's probably Tactics A2.
Mm-mm.
Really?
No. I love how the PS1 is like so easy and the DS one's so hard.
Yeah.
It could have been Revenant Wings. I know 12 was up. I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
All
Your guess,
right.
Mike.
Let's do.
And Rings of Fate sold horribly. It's got to be Revenant Wings, I guess.
Let's do the DS Final Fantasy Revenant Wings 12. Is that
That is the answer.
Really?
It is actually Revenant Wings. According to this, it says
Wow.
it sold 1.04 million. It was the third most popular one.
It's not a good game. Huh.
So that means our final score, we have Rectwizard with 10 points, but with a whopping 14 points. JRPGLife. Done. Very nice.
Well done. Well done.
Hey.
That was a fun one.
Dude, that was fun.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good time, dude. I love it.
Yeah, when Pavel was trying to explain, he's like, "Here's the quiz." I was like, "Huh? What?" Literally, I'm like, "I don't know. I don't even know how to ask this question."
It's so funny. Like I keep forgetting Dissidia exists because we own all of them, and I don't like fighting games, so I didn't play any of them.
Yeah,
they're just sealed on the shelf
They're fighting games, so
or whatever.
It's that's like I said, I was surprised because I'm not a huge Dissidia fan. I just don't really, I'm not really into that game.
Did you ever play Revenant Wings? Have you tried that one?
No, never even heard of it.
It's like an RTS tactical weird, but it's just Vaughn and Pinello. It's really weird.
and they're playing kids games that they're
you
like
see that?
pretending.
Yeah.
What was that noise? You know, like some sort of alert or something. It seems like.
It was a Metal Gear
Oh,
sound.
Oh my god! It's Radical Reggie. What's going on, man? Yo,
What's up,
dude?
guys?
How's it going?
I think I can turn my camera on now. I just wanted to make sure I had good signal before I turned my camera on. But yeah, so you guys, I wanted to join you guys earlier, but I fell asleep because the convention just took a lot out of me. I was like, oh, go
That's
to
what
bed.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, but I found some good stuff which I'm happy about. So yeah, man, I'm just glad to be on the stream with you guys. Glad I was able to make it somewhat.
Hell yeah, dude.
glad to be here. Where are you at right now? What convention?
I'm at the Renton City Retro Convention. I think it's been around for like 5 or 6 years, and they invited me as a guest, me, Riggs, Hancock. So we all did a panel together, and yeah, I of course was going around getting some pickups during the show, so got some cool stuff. I think weird stuff as usual, and then there's another game store around here too that's hosting the event called D-Pad. So I'm probably going to stop by there tomorrow. But yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Well, you're just in time because we just finished up the quiz way late, and we're actually about to start pickups. So,
Oh wow, yeah,
let's show up some stuff.
perfect.
Well, I'm gonna go first just because I have only one thing, and it will be quick. But it's
One,
kind of-
whoa.
I mean, I showed it. Well, all right, I have two, but I'm saving one for next week. I'm trying to. all right, you know what I'm saying. All right, so it's not even a game. This just went on sale on Amazon this week, and I literally just had to buy it. And we've been talking about this guy several times tonight, so it's kind of relevant.
That's an
Wow.
awesome book.
Akira Toriyama Dragon Quest Illustrations. This is on sale right now on Amazon, guys, for like $20.
Yeah. I think
And
we did that a long time ago.
No, my brothers actually gave me that
Oh,
for
that's
my
right.
birthday one year.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
It's hit me right in the feels as soon as I saw it. I just knew I had to have it, and I was just like, he just passed away, and I love Dragon Quest, and I don't know, I'm having the feels, and the artwork is absolutely incredible for these games. Like I really love it, especially 5 is probably my favorite. Absolutely love 5. I just love the artwork and design for it. I also really like 6. 6 is probably one of my favorite games as well. But yeah, I mean, it's artwork from Dragon Quest. I could show you guys this for hours, but yeah, it's pretty awesome, dude. Yeah, and I don't have a ton of books, but this is something I want for sure. So,
right on.
In honor of Mr. Akira. So,
who
would like to go next?
We can, since it looks like Reggie's peeling stickers off.
and Rect is MIA, so yeah, let's go for it.
Oh, I'm back. I forgot I had some more stuff that I got to.
Cool.
I went nuts this last 2 weeks, dude.
Well, good, because I only got a book.
All right, we got a little stuff. The first thing we got is this is a PAL edition Astral Chain big box.
Dude.
Oh, nice, dude.
That is awesome.
I think I saw that in one of your most recent videos.
It is.
Yeah. We picked it up at an auction for $60, and it's obviously.
Oh yeah, beers
What?
and bits and beers. Yeah.
We're super stoked for that.
The regular game's like $60.
I know, right?
That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
That's a great game.
So I was like, yeah, that's still a good price.
Yeah.
That's 100% going to be worth a fortune in the future.
Yeah.
That's like one of the, I don't know if I call it a hidden gem. I feel like everybody who's into the Switch knows about it, but I don't know if all the normies know about it. That's a great game on the Switch.
So. All right, what do you got?
I'm gonna do pink haired theme. Tomba.
That's a heavy
I
right
got
there.
it. Yeah. This game is weird, by the way. There's one of the early levels. You're basically eating mushrooms to make that flower either happy or sad. It's really weird, but it's pretty good.
We've all been there.
Yeah, it's
relatable.
So this was just an upgrade because this actually has the poster, which we're pretty excited about. So
love that game.
Have that poster.
That's awesome.
Nothing was cooler than the X-Men in the 90s. Literally nothing.
She's getting me into it, so now I know a lot about the X-Men. Thanks to her.
I watched all the cartoon back in the day. He hasn't seen any of it really.
Do you know what? There's a couple sick board games for X-Men in the 90s that all have come with figurines and stuff like that. Oh, dude, I wish I had mine still. Yeah, if you're into board games, I would check that out. It's really cool.
I play a lot of Marvel Snap.
I know there was a dice game like in the 90s for X-Men. That's pretty expensive.
I mean, there is dice, I know, but this is I just remember there would be figurines and there was cards and they had abilities, and I used to love playing it. Oh my god, so cool.
Continue with pink-haired theme. We have Izuna.
Our copy was loose with the printed cover, so we got a CIB.
Yeah, it's an Atlas game. So
now we have both.
Badass.
Right on.
And then this is another RPG that we were missing on the Dreamcast. So shout out to Dreamcast.
Oh, one of my favorite animes ever, dude.
The music is fan-freaking-tastic in this game.
Yeah,
is that right there, Lotus War?
Soundtrack.
Yeah, dude, such a good anime.
Yeah, that was one of the OGs, the originals.
It's like World of Warcraft in an anime.
Right.
It's dope, dude.
Yeah. Another heavy, all kind of.
Say that name.
So
the first Atlas release for PS2, I think the game was.
Yep. It's a horror / RPG. Yeah. So we've been excited to play this one. We've just never seen it in person, so now we finally picked it up.
Pronounce it.
Tsugunai.
Tsugunai.
Tsugunai, yeah. Super cool. So we haven't played it. Is it good?
I didn't like it originally, but I got it when it first came out back in the day, so I wasn't used to it. It's probably actually a good game, though. I mean, Atlas usually is very picky about what they publish, so.
Yeah. And the last one is something I have to shout out Reggie for because I didn't know about it, and then I finally saw it in person. I haven't played it yet, but we finally picked up.
Oh, man.
Lancer. Yeah.
One of my favorites.
I am stoked. The red cart, the whole style of it, so picked it up sealed, and I can't wait to play it.
I get the intro music stuck in my head to that constantly. So good, dude. Oh man, that game is fantastic. So if you want a trick, there's you can pick different types of orbital shots or whatever. Use the heat-seeking one first.
Okay.
The one that just aims at all your enemies. Like,
Oh, yeah,
makes the game so much easier. Everything else. Yeah. Way easier than everything else.
Heck yeah. That's all we got.
Very cool.
Oh, wow.
Nice
Awesome,
stuff,
man.
dude. Quality. Who'd like to go next?
I can go if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah. Come on.
All right. So the first thing I got, it's not video game related, but I thought, Dan and Elisa would really appreciate it because I loved it when I found it. I got this collector's box from Studio Ghibli for all of the VHS tapes.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
And on the back,
Love the case.
Oh.
Aw.
and it's like a suitcase, and you can put all your VHS in it, which is super dope. I was so happy to find it, dude. It was great to find.
Bring it
that.
to your friend's place and watch VHS with them. I love it.
Right, dude. It's so awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna rattle off the 360 games really quickly because there's a bunch, and I've been hitting GameStop really hard on the 360 games, dude. So, all right, so quickly, Brutal Legends, Gears of War 2.
Brutal Legends.
Hey, you can't go quickly about Brutal Legends. We got to stop and
No.
say how good
That
Brutal
game is
Legends
awesome.
It's a great game.
Hilarious.
Dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's perfect proof that it doesn't have to be expensive to be great. Like that's a
dude.
game, and everybody should play that game and buy that
Jack
game.
Black
It's
is great.
freaking
Well, that's the thing, dude, is like I want these 360 games to actually play them and enjoy them, and I'm grabbing them now before prices get ridiculous, and I'm not going to end up getting them. It's right. So, we got Ninja Gaiden 2. We've
Game
got
hard.
Lord of the Rings: Battle for Middle Earth 2, Bayonetta, Risen, The Darkness.
That's a good one. Mike Patton, baby.
We've
Like
got
Mike Patton does the monster voices in that game. The guy from Faith No More. He's like my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like a little like I'm like a fanboy for Mike Patton. Like for real. Like I am. Like if I met him, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to talk and shit,
So then we got the graphic novel special edition of Enchanted Arms.
Oh, that's sweet. That's cool. The game's okay, but that's a cool edition.
We got a sealed copy of Lollipop Chainsaw for the 360.
Well, that'll go up once the new one comes out.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, Lost Odyssey,
Awesome game.
Last Remnant,
Another awesome game.
Naughty Bear,
Not as awesome.
We'll give that one an
Infinite Undiscovery.
So that game, have you played that game yet?
Not
What
yet.
is that game?
Infinite
It's an
Undiscovery.
RPG, right?
It's really unique, and the graphics and the story are really good, but it kind of gets a little monotonous.
Okay.
Okay.
I heard some good things about it.
Yeah, I need to pick it up too because I'm actually missing one of the discs for it. So I need to find that disc and try it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then we got Blades of Time sealed.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Records
That's
of
expensive on the PS3.
Agrest War.
Is that expensive on Xbox? Blades of Time?
The Blades of Time, I got a sealed copy for like $15-20 on eBay.
Okay. Yeah.
Wasn't
the
bad.
PS3 one's a lot.
Records of Agrest War,
Nice.
Blue Dragon,
Okay,
Nice.
there you go.
Yeah.
Darkness 2, Call of Juarez,
Awesome game.
I
Tales
like
of
Call of Juarez.
Vesperia, Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Call of Juarez got an actual like a new game that
Yeah.
was really awesome. It didn't get physically released, and it pissed me off. I was like waiting and waiting and waiting, and I got like a code in a box or something. I was
Mhm.
like, nah.
Then we got all the both Condemns and all 3 of the Fears.
Nice.
Yeah, PS3. We didn't get the first Condemned. Stupid.
Alan Wake,
The OG. Love it.
Resonance of Fate.
That game is awesome. I love that
That's
game.
really cool.
Yeah, lots of
Is that,
crazy
is
stuff.
that the gun RPG one where
Yep.
you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
That
doesn't tell you how to play it all. You got to kind of figure it out. And it's real good.
Yeah.
looks cool.
Alice Madness Returns,
Yes.
and a sealed copy of The First Templar.
Oh, wow.
And then PS3, we got Dante's Inferno, got it at a flea market for $5.
It's a good game. It's a good
That's
game.
a hidden one.
Records of Agrest War 2
Mhm.
for the and Ultimate Alliance. Got this at GameStop for like $10. And then
Nice.
okay, so this is the big one, and then I'm glad you guys get to see this because I haven't shared this with that many people. So the story is I went to a GameStop about 2 weeks ago. I walk into the local GameStop, and there is literally a stack of PlayStation 1 games on the back counter. And I'm looking and I'm like, hey, are those for sale? Like, and she was like, yeah, actually, the gentleman just traded these in 20 to 30 minutes ago. His we don't even have stickers on them yet, but we have the prices. Here's a list. They printed me out the list. I said, let me see all the ones you have that have the original artwork and that are complete. So they put this stack in front of me, and I'm looking at the list and I'm comparing the prices as I'm scanning them into price charting, because some of these games I've never heard of. I physically start shaking. I physically am like losing my mind at the counter. And these GameStop employees, dude, like they're like, I don't care. Like, right. So I'll go through these really quick. One that I didn't get at GameStop, I got at Half Price Books. Just it's one of my favorites of all time, Bushido Blade.
I love that game.
Complete. Love that game. I had to pick it up. So I'll start with the cheaper ones and I'll show you the Grail, because one of the games is on almost every top 10 Grail PS1 lists. So I was blown away. Okay, so we got these 3 games right here for $9 a piece. Every game is complete. Spyro, Monkey Magic, and Gauntlet Legends. I paid $9 each for these. They price chart from $20 to $30 a piece. Then we got a copy of Dragon Valor.
Nice.
I like that game.
Paid $21 for this. It price charts for $70. Like GameStop came in clutch, dude. We got a copy of Chocobo Dungeon 2. I paid $21 for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Price charts for $80.
Yeah, we just paid $80 for that at the Expo the other day.
Yeah.
$75, I think.
That's always, dude. I've had that happen to me so many times. Like I'll buy a game for like $60, and someone will
And then
post
you
it.
find it.
I got this for a piece of bubblegum. I'm like, damn it.
We got Resident Evil 2 Greatest Hits. I paid $20 for that. Price charts for $45. I got Medieval. Paid $21 for this. It's $45.
Yeah.
I got a complete copy of Heart of Darkness.
Oh, nice.
I paid $17 for this. It price charts for around $40.
Does it have the
Did it
glasses?
go with the glasses inside?
Oh, yeah.
Just like
Wait, there's glasses. Let's look.
3D glasses.
Like 3D glasses.
No, so we got the manual, and
but you could get some generic ones and put it in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, you should cover 3D glasses. Which is
no, there's no glasses. No
Might
glasses.
be in the manual, like folded
Oh.
in there.
Really? Okay, let's look.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would have done if I had owned it.
It's got the
the
registration card in it.
It's got a $1,000 bill in it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no 3D
this?
glasses.
Chester Copperpot. What is this map? No, I'm just kidding.
So the three biggest ones that I got. This one is a horror game. I paid $26 for this, or $30. It's worth about $100. I got Juggernaut
wow.
complete. The next one I was really happy about because I've always wanted to play this RPG, and I finally got it. It's a $100 game. I paid $26 for this. It's a complete copy of Vagrant Story.
Very nice.
That's what we're going for now? Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. Yep. And the biggest one I got, the Grail of Grails, I paid $80 for this. It's a complete copy of Shadow Tower.
Oh, you bastard. No,
So-
wow.
so-
I've been after that for like 2
Great.
years.
Yeah, that's the first person RPG, right?
Yeah, it basically looks like it looks like an Elder Scrolls Daggerfall kind
Yeah.
of game, first person RPG. But
Field style, yeah.
dude, it says it price charts for 300, but I've seen sold listings anywhere from 350 to 400, like on a consistent basis. So I was blown away. I basically paid $300, and they all price charted for about 850 at
That game-
GameStop.
That game loose disc is $100 to $150.
Yeah. So, and also, well, here's the thing. This is actually trade bait towards something I really want even more.
What do you want?
I either want a copy of Kuon or Rule of Rose, and obviously
it's Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade. Yeah, so because I'm big at, like I was saying, I'm big into collecting the horror and RPGs. I just completed my Silent Hill collection. I have Haunting Ground. I have the entire Fatal Frame series. I really want Kuon and Rule of Rose. So I have a copy of Gotcha Force. I got Shadow Tower, a couple other heavy hitters that I'm willing to trade for those, or trade plus cash, but yeah, Shadow Tower, it's hard because I collect RPGs and I'm like, man, I would really like to keep it, but I really want Kuon or Rule of Rose more. So
have you played Shadow Tower?
I haven't, not yet.
One of the most awkward control schemes that you've ever used in your life. Like if you like look up online, you have to remap everything to make it playable.
Really?
Yes.
If you
remake credit for Rule of Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude, that Shadow Tower is literally one of my holy grails. Like it for my PS1 set. I really want that. And I still I'm trying to find Kingsfield 1 and 2 for a decent price. So I can get that set.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
a PS1 set basically.
Oh, and I picked up for $9 a complete copy of Full Metal Alchemist 2 for the PS2 at GameStop, and it's like a $30 game, and it came with the soundtrack. So that was cool for $9 at GameStop. Like seriously, guys, don't sleep on GameStop. Like GameStop really comes in clutch, and a lot of people don't realize. Oh, love you, baby. Oh, guys, I'm gonna turn the camera off for a second. I'm gonna tuck her in just for a second. I'll be right back.
Not a problem.
Oh, I guess I'm up there, huh?
Spotlight.
Yeah, this event's been crazy, but I started picking up some cool stuff here. So I'll start with this. I think this is a hidden gem among the Need for Speed games. Need for Speed owned a city. The Carbon owned a city for the PSP. This is the Japanese version. So it's more of a variant for me, I guess. It was $5, but this game has a totally good soundtrack. Like the soundtrack is really on point. Like a lot of people don't even know, but like I didn't even know they made it for Japan. So I thought this was a cool buy. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure I don't want no echo or nothing like that. But yeah, got that $5. I also got Need for Speed Undercover for $5, the Japanese version. So
we were just saying PSP the racing beast. We were talking about that earlier.
Racing beast. Yeah,
dude. That system is so much fun, man. I love the PSP. I like it over the Vita actually. What we have
the library I think has a better library. But
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vita itself, 2 analogs is good. I like it.
I got this is because I have a test system PS2, so I can play this. But this is the Japanese version of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Fight for the Future, and what's the other one here? Capcom vs SNK. So this came sealed in this little bundle here. So I got this. So happy about that. I also got another bundle, Darkstalkers Chronicles with Hyper Street Fighter 2, which I probably won't even play because that game was rough. Like it's tough. I mean, not rough, but it's really your skills gotta be on point when you play that game because computer is mean in that one. But
dude, I love the white PS2 logos on the tops of those packs. That's sick, dude. They look like PS5 games.
I know, seriously.
What the heck?
Yeah. And then I got Retro City Rampage for the PS4. So I was actually missing that one. I got a lucky number out of 3,000. I got 1,023. Lucky number.
That's it. Go play Keno.
Here's a weird one. Anybody seen that movie Steam Boy?
Yeah. Classic.
A lot of people don't know that Steam Boy actually has a game that came out in Japan only. So I picked that one up. I actually had it. Thought I had it a long time ago. I guess I must have sold it, but I saw it again at the show. And this game has an alternate ending from the movie. I would say it's kind of like happier depending on what you think. But pick that one up. Also, I got
that's that an anime, I'm assuming? That's a
it's
an anime movie. Yeah. That guy did Akira.
I
forgot his name.
It's a good one.
Would love to. Akira is one of the greatest freaking movies ever made, so I'm assuming it's
I got Demonica. I actually had this game before, but I traded it to my buddy, but I kind of just hooked him up. So I wanted to get it again. So I saw it in the show. John Riggs had it, so he sold it for me for cheap. So got that one. It's like a Metroidvania type, but it's like a beat 'em up. We plays this vampire shit. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like Blood Rain. Looks like that Blood Rain game. Reminds me of that.
Yeah, kind of like the cover and everything. Like they kind of use that that likeness and everything. Every time I see this game, I have to pick it up, especially if it's cheap. You got Rainbow Islands Evolution for the PSP. So I like the Rainbow Islands games better than Bubble Bobble. So like anytime I see something, like I have to like kind of pick it up. Now I have to warn anybody who gets this game. The cover and graphics look pretty good, but the music in the game is horrible. So it's like, I don't know. It'll be kind of mixed for some people.
Yeah, it's bad. It's repetitive. Really, really repetitive.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, man, why they should have just used the original music. It would have been fine. But they were trying to be like, I don't know, they were trying to be clever or something.
So I don't know if
Then
you
we
saw
have
that. They just announced Title Milestones 3 today.
I saw that, yeah.
Rainbow Islands is on that. Kind of a weak
Oh, I'm
lineup.
definitely
I don't know if you saw that. It's like Rastan Saga. It's like I don't know. Check it out.
Now it's getting better. They put some of the weaker titles in the first volume, and now we're getting the good stuff.
Second one was decent. The third one is good too. Yeah. There's only like 5 games though. I'm like,
is there only 5 on it?
Like 6.
They said they're gonna announce more.
Oh, okay.
You talking about the new one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's fair then.
They're announcing more. They announced some of them. They said there's gonna be
All
more
right.
in there.
All right, that makes sense. I only saw a cursory glance of it today. I was like, I'm not giving you $50 for 5 title games from 1991. I'm not doing that.
Exactly. Then we have Nitro Plus Blasters, another 2D fighter for the PS3. I guess you could say this is an all-girl fighter. So if you play games like Arcana Heart, it's like a successor to that. You're into anime. You got what's that girl's name from Stay Night? The Night Girl, or I don't remember her name, but Saber. She's one of the characters in this, and then you got Super Sonico, some exclusive characters. But yeah, cool fighting game for PS4. All right, well, I'm just getting through here. Oh yeah, I only got a couple more. I got what is this? Sub-Level Zero Redux. One signature edition games first releases. So
I've been thinking about picking that up. That's one of those games that walks the line. Like, is it a shmup? Is it not a shmup type thing? It's like one of
it
those.
reminds me of
shooter type
Descent kind of. You played Descent on PS1. So
yeah, I kind of want it.
Yeah. Signature. I forgot all about them. They were one of the first ones next to Limited Run that kind of started doing the limited printed games, but I don't know if they're still around now. I got Top Gear Pocket for Game Boy Color. So I guess the batteries for like rumble function, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's for some kind of rumble function or something.
Huh.
You know? Yeah, it is. So I like these kind of cards because they're kind of weird and everything like that.
Yeah.
But, a cool little racing game. And then this game right here, though it doesn't have a label right now, this is a reproduction. You guys ever heard of Punky Skunk for PS1?
Yeah.
Well, originally it was a Super Nintendo game that they found on one of those satellite view systems, hard drives, and the whole game was on there because it was complete. So somebody dumped it, and I had my buddy make it into a cart for me. So he's just got to send me the label later. But this is Coolie Skunk for a Super Nintendo, and it's an impressive looking game. It's just unfortunate it didn't come out for Super Nintendo because people wanted. I'm sure people would have liked that version of it, but it originally just got made for. They just put it on the PS1. So I'm gonna kind of compare them later on because I beat the PS1 version. So just happy to have that. I like that historical type stuff. And then this is a weird pickup, but it's something I've been wanting for years, and finally someone had it at the show. This is the manual for X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Now I didn't pay this. I actually traded them a game for it, so I was totally cool with that. Years ago, I had this incident in my game room where some games got ruined, and because I left a popsicle next to my PS1 games.
This was I know the popsicle story.
Yeah, so this is the main one. So this is one of the last ones I need, and happily got that. And then last game here, my last purchase of the show, cost me a little bit too much money, but I said it's right in front of me. Blaster Master Trilogy 0 for the Switch, ESP rating 1, ERSP rating. Sorry.
What?
And
wait, what? When did that? On one card of the ESRB.
Yeah, it came out. I think they mostly came out from Play Asia.
Yeah.
So it was very limited in a way. No, Video Games Plus had them too. I remember. Sorry about the glare. Hold on a second.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Play Asia had it, right?
Play Asia. I have the Japanese version on PS4, but not in ESRB. And then the limited run games with the ESRB as single releases. I never knew there was a trilogy on the cart with ESRB. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so this came out. Play Asia had them, and also Video Games Plus had them in Canada. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, they're the only people I know that had this version of the game. And you got the English text on the back, thankfully. You know, both versions are in English. The ones you guys have the Japanese one, that's in English too. But I just had to have this one, and Riggs had it, and we made a deal for it. He was playing hardball at first, but I talked him down a little bit. He hooked me up.
I wasn't sure of ours is ESRB as well. So yeah, I was like,
you got it too. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, man. So this is the last one. I really like that game, so I'm like collecting everything for that Blaster Master game. I'm probably gonna look at getting the collector's edition for the third one here pretty soon. But I love that they put all 3 games on the cart like this, so I can play on the go. So I love that. So definitely pretty cool.
I'm after the stupid sleeve that limited run came out for all 3 games because they did them as individual releases. And then they released like a sleeve to hold all 3 games, and I don't have it, and it's like $50. Fucking stupid thing.
Dude, I know. I can't believe that thing like sold out like it did, man. Like, yeah, pretty crazy. But yeah.
That's my last pick. I've forgotten about it, but now you reminded me, and I have to get that. Damn it.
Dude, I forgot we bought that. I'm so glad you reminded me. Now I can open and play it.
Yeah, it's a good game. They're good games, man. They really enhance the story. Because just a little history lesson. The original Blaster Master on the Nintendo cut out a lot of story, or just didn't have Eve in it in general. But now because Eve was in a novel, which is canon. So they kind of remade that story into this one, and Eve is like a part of the whole thing. You could see her and everything like that. So it was really nice. And then they expanded upon it with the part 2 and 3. I don't know if Blaster Master Blasting Again, which I actually like that game, 3D Blaster Master on PS1, is canon anymore. But that's a good game too, and it's still like on the cheap if anybody wants to pick that one up one of these days.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah, what I love about Reggie is he reminds us what we have in our collection we haven't played yet. I'm like, oh,
So Joe.
Yeah.
This game is like a grail that you want.
That game is literally like one of 5 PS1 games I'm actually actively looking for a good price. Yeah.
Okay.
I lost a bid on it like 2 days ago for the disc only for like I bid like 105 and I lost, and I was like, I ain't paying more than that for a disc.
So if you're interested, I'll DM you. I'll send you a list of stuff I'm looking for. It doesn't have to be Kuon or Rule of Rose, but I'll send you my list, and maybe we can work out a deal because I'd love for it to go to you.
Do you want 30 copies of Elden Ring by any chance?
Online.
But seriously, man, if you're interested in it, just hit me up, dude, and we can talk for sure. I would love for it to go to somebody that actually really wants it and that I've met and I know now.
I'll give you 81.
81.
I'm sorry.
What game is it again? You looking for Joe?
Shadow Tower.
You sold your copy. Like you told me you sold yours like a month ago, and I'm like, figures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the games that I actually played on emulator and decided I wanted. That is
okay.
So that game, first of all, 100% that game's not for everybody. I can see lots of people not liking that game. Yeah. I liked it because it's hard and it's creepy and weird. There's no music in the game at all. 0 music. You're just like in this creepy place, and all you hear is those things scratching and monsters making noises, and everything's dark, and it's like it's got a vibe to it. I don't know how to describe it, and it doesn't explain itself at all. Literally, you just start playing, and it goes, figure that shit out, bro. And that's it. You have no idea what you're doing, where you're going, what the point of the game is. You just have to be like, well, I can go through this door. What the hell's in here? Oh, like you literally, it's just so good, dude.
Yeah.
I forgot one game. One of the developers here gave this to me, Riggs and Hancock, and I can't wait to try this out. This is hilarious. But this is called hoarding disorder, like video game hoarding disorder. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. So I'm like, what the heck?
It's based on all of us.
Dude, it cracked me up. So I guess they made 10 of them, and I got number 9 here. It was made by a publisher called Game Losers, and they made the game exclusive for this event. So I'm pretty pumped up for this. This is hilarious. So
when you put the game in, does it show you a screen that says "Go sell all your games real quick," and that's it?
I know, right? Or just have them nice and neat, or whatever like that. Make sure they're in order or something. Yeah. That was kind of cool. But yeah, that's it for now. That's it.
That's
so I'll be honest. I gotta be honest with you guys. I had an ulterior motive. of showing you guys the Anbernic controllers and stuff, because I was hoping to inspire everyone to just be like, why don't I get that and just sell all my stuff? That's why I was showing everybody. I'm like, isn't this better, guys? It's cheap. It's convenient. Just get rid of all your stuff. Real cheap. You don't need it. Come on. Yeah, that was the whole idea. I don't know. We'll see if it works. But anyway, there was like a whole other topic I meant to talk about on the show. If you guys have time still, if there's anyone in a rush, we could go one more topic. All right, so I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but did you see that like Square Enix came out with their earnings report and it said that they lost like, I don't know, like $170 million or something like that, and they had to lay off half their staff and cancel like 30 projects and basically downsize their entire operation?
Yeah.
Okay. I am very, very concerned about this. Because like I think we talked about it a little before. I don't think they're going to go out of business per se or anything like that.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. But I'm a little shocked because I honestly feel like Rebirth would have done better. It's a great game. And
it's only on PS5. It's a problem.
Yeah. Well, they're
exactly
$1 billion company.
Yeah.
So losing, several millions, it really isn't all that bad for them.
True. Yeah. That's true. And I don't think Rebirth was the problem. I think they just came out with like Forspoken didn't do well. I don't think
Foam Stars is failing.
So
which one?
Final Fantasy
Foam Stars
16
Foam Stars, yeah.
and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth did not meet expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't fail.
Yeah, they didn't fail. And of course, part of the problem is that both of those two games, those big number Final Fantasy games, are both restricted to PS5.
Mm-hmm.
And only half of PS4 users have upgraded to a PS5. 50%. Like according to PlayStation themselves. So, if you think about that, if it was available on PS4, that would have given the other half of PlayStation users accessibility to the games.
Bring it out on Xbox. Yeah. Okay. They have cooler controllers anyways.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that companies like that are shooting themselves in the foot by making them exclusive to one console if they want to really make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, and he mentioned Stranger of Paradise. That's true. They didn't do that well on that one either. That was it was fine.
Well,
it should have been on Xbox.
Yeah.
2022, they were cranking out like 3 mediocre games a month. They did
Harvestella.
Mm-hmm.
They did what was that other one?
Average Day Life or something.
Average Daily Life. Yeah.
Various Day Life.
But
stupidest name ever for a game.
Geofield Chronicles. They did a ton.
I mean, there's some good games, but they were all pretty like mid, and they were like pushing them out all at the same time, and like you really couldn't
spend time with one of them. They're the longest game company, and then they're just pushing them out quicker than Assassin's Creed, and that's saying something.
Yeah. So their cutbacks are basically saying that they're going to focus on the mainline games. They're going to focus on Dragon Quest 12, or that, they're still doing that. Any projects that they've announced, they're still working on them. It's just the projects that weren't announced aren't going to be coming out anymore.
Yeah, because we're getting Kingdom Hearts 4. We're getting we're getting the obviously the third installment of 7, right? We're going to get Final Fantasy 17, and then we're getting Dragon Quest 12. So, and then they did, obviously this is a dumb question, but they did Visions of Mana that's coming soon, right?
Right, that's coming during the summer.
Which I'm excited about that one.
I'm extremely excited for that game.
So I wanted to touch on this too. So as far as like not meeting their expectations, that's their fault because they're not putting out quality product like they used to, what people want. I don't even know the main character's name in Final Fantasy 16. Like Final Fantasy 16 came out and I heard it was a linear game, but I don't think there was no desire to play it. You know what I mean? They should have released Final Fantasy Rebirth last year before Final Fantasy 16 and paused that up, but they wanted to be greedy with it. So, okay, fine. And yeah, just the quality of games they're putting out. They think that anything they put out is supposed to sell a lot of numbers, but these have to be good games or people are not going to play them. We have a choice of so many games to play, and there's a lot of top developers. It's just as good as Square Enix. It's not like it was back in the day when they were the top dog, PS1, PS2, even maybe PS3, you could say. It's not like that anymore. And what you said earlier about the install base, yeah, you made the game exclusive to PS5. You know, half of the install base for the PS4 is insane. Like, you know, if they obviously the game is more powerful than being on the PS4. It would have been hard to put it on there, but at the same time, they got to understand the install base of what they're making it exclusive for. They shouldn't have made it exclusive. There's no reason it shouldn't have come out for Xbox or whatever. I mean, that's just a dumb decision they made. They thought that was going to help sell PS5s or something. That people were going to buy a PS5 for their game. That's $500 plus the game, which is $70. You know, it's $600 pretty much to get that game. So I think, yeah, it's pretty much their fault how they've been releasing games. They're working on too many projects at once. We should have had Final Fantasy Rebirth a couple of years ago, but they were working on Kingdom Hearts 4, which I didn't even know they were working on until they announced it. I was like, wow, dude, like that's why the development took so long for Rebirth, because they had to split their team up. So it's on them. They'll be okay. I mean, obviously they won't shut down, but they just got to be careful about their business decisions in the future. And it sucks that they're claiming they had to fire their staff because they made a mistake. You know what I mean? I'm sure those hardworking people that did a good job, but you know, they made a bad call in the meeting room. And it's not as bad as the disaster of Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Like, you know, like they're trying to make it.
Yeah.
That whole thing where they closed out a lot of stuff, but they'll be okay. It's just like I said, just stop. I mean, focus on, I don't know, stop being exclusive, because that's done these days. Unless you're a first party or even a second party company, do not do no exclusives unless it's going to benefit you. Oops. Mic drop. Or more like camera drop.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
they showed us behind the curtain in 2021. So you guys remember Balan Wonderworld?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember the guy's name that was laid off, that was let go from Square, who's run a lot of other projects, but he let us kind of see behind the curtain on what happened. They were forcing him to make it quickly so they can get to the next game. So he had to finish it prematurely. And that was the start of the downfall. It kind of showed us that that's how they're asking their developers to make the games now. You got to make it quicker because we need to release another one. And that game clearly needed to stew in the oven a little longer.
And what's crazy is, dude, like in today's, you know, market for gaming, like Reggie was saying, if you're a third-party developer, why in the world would you ever make a console exclusive at this day and age? Like, why would you do that when you could, dude, if they would have put those Final Fantasy games not only on Xbox, but on PC as well, and then, you know, in a year or two, when the next Switch comes out, if it's powerful enough, put them on the next Switch, they would make their money back tenfold. They would get the profits they're looking for. Like the install base on PC is it's bigger than the consoles, obviously, right? So it's like, why would you do that? I mean, I get it if it's a Sony studio or if it's, you know, Microsoft Game Studios, yeah, it's going to be exclusive to your console, but why would they do that for these games, man? Like there's so many millions of people that they're losing out on, you know? It's just dumb.
Gee, you know, if there was only some way that they could like make some easy money and they could maybe use like some of the properties they already own. If there was only possibly something, I mean, I'm not a genius. I'm not like this a smart person, you know, I'm not good at business, but if there was only something they could possibly make that would be easy to sell to a rabid install base who absolutely would pay outrageous prices for their product. If
they didn't make it so hard to get and so hard you have to order it overnight.
Why you got to flex on us, man?
It's the most frustrating thing they ever did in their entire career, and I can't believe they did it.
How can a company that's not like making any money leave this on the table?
So bad.
Like, why aren't they just printing? Why didn't they print more of those? Like,
they just print money.
We had to buy that off of eBay because, like, you know, we missed out on the small like release window.
You weren't up at 2 a.m. when it came out?
No.
For some reason in Arizona, we were up at 2 a.m. with having to go to work at.
Dude, I woke up with I rolled out like 6 a.m. like on my couch, like, huh? What? No,
yeah, and it was just gone.
I bought my copy on Play Asia for the Switch. And what is the difference between the Switch version that Square Enix sold on their store versus the Play Asia version of the game?
So the standard copy, no difference except for it says like the ESRB logo is like different.
And the inner art. So this actually this has everything but the game. So we have to play as a copy of the game. We wanted the vinyls. The vinyls are sick. But the art inside of the
standard copy.
Standard copy is better
Okay.
than the one that's on PlayAsia. Otherwise,
Okay.
Yeah, well, the
Gotcha.
special edition comes with a 2-disc vinyl and a bunch of little pixel art,
figures.
acrylic figures, and
The
Gotcha.
vinyl is what we really wanted more than anything.
yeah,
It's
because
incredible.
we're really big into music and we love, so
Ooh.
that was we had to have it,
Speaking of a collectible RPG vinyl, and you've probably already seen it, but I pre-ordered the special Switch collector's edition on IM 8-bit for Sea of Stars. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you get the vinyl for it that's on
Yeah,
there?
we pre-ordered it.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
We're still waiting for our backed copy of the game, of course.
Oh yeah, we have you can go to a JRPGLife grave in the game.
Yeah,
We're in there.
we have a.
Nice.
So if you were a backer at a certain level, you could have a
headstone
in
That's
the
cool.
and we're and
Cool.
I think we made the headstone I think before we started making videos, but we had the channel name.
Okay.
Yeah,
So there's a JRPGLife headstone in there.
yeah.
Oh man,
I
that's
didn't even know the
awesome.
game was out yet because I just found out they made a physical for PS4. It's on Amazon, so I'm probably gonna get that sometime next week.
It's real good.
Yeah, and the game soundtrack is really good, huh?
Oh yeah.
It's like on an orange vinyl too, isn't it? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, dude, that's so cool, man. And it's cheap. You still pre-order. It's like $40. It's not
Yeah.
that bad, dude.
I
Like,
mean,
I would snatch that up now. But
Oh,
when
yeah, 100%.
when is the special edition supposed to come out? Because like they just said a certain quarter. They didn't give a date yet. Do you guys have any idea?
So they've been really generic on the updates. Some people are getting them now, but it's basically like you'll get it this like third quarter of the year.
Okay.
So sometime during the summer, they'll show up randomly at our door
Mhm.
Cool.
because it's being printed. It's printed by Limited Run. So,
Right.
if you're familiar with Limited Run, who knows?
Yeah, I've been putting that game off just so I could play that edition when it shows up to my house. Like I'm super excited. It looks amazing.
Have you played it yet, Joe?
No,
Sea of
I've
Stars.
been
Oh,
waiting for the physical copy for.
Yeah.
They
Forever.
gave us, since we were kickstarted the game, they gave us a digital
Codes.
code to hold us over until our physical came.
That's
I,
really
which
awesome.
I think that is like how all
Yeah.
limited print companies should do it.
Yeah.
that's
it
how
doesn't
all-
hurt
Yeah.
anything. Doesn't cost anything. Like
We already
Special
paid for it.
Special Reserve did that with me. I ordered Carrion from them.
yeah,
And-
Carrion's
and, like,
awesome.
Yeah, and they sent me a code, and I was like, "Really? Hell yeah!" And I played it immediately, and I still have my nice, beautiful sealed copy, and I'm like, "This is
Yep.
the best of both worlds." I wish every
Yeah.
company did this.
Yeah.
But yeah, my roommate played Sea of Stars, and he's not really even an RPG guy, and he was like, "Dude, this game is insanely good.
It's like
Yeah.
I absolutely love it." Yeah, he raved about it and told me over and over to get it. So there's another thing too that I just want to point out to Square. I mean, I don't know if are they aware of things like, are you guys aware of what you own and what you could be selling?
Yeah.
You guys, like, I'm now granted these are sealed, graded copies or whatever, so obviously these are more expensive.
Well,
but I mean,
like I
just
said,
regular copies are like, pretty expensive, brand new, just a regular old copy, $719.
well,
Wow.
so
You know
like
what I'm saying, guys?
we don't really
Like,
have to worry
500
about
bucks.
we don't really have to worry about Square Enix unless they are. We'll know when they're absolutely desperate and they're gonna go out of business is when they make a port of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is their life preserver. The ship is sinking. What are we gonna do? Okay, it's finally time for Chrono Trigger to come out.
Or Chocobo Dungeon 2.
Definitely not that one. Everybody's Chocobo is on Switch, by the way. The original Chocobo Dungeon. I
Really?
don't like it at all. It's not a good game.
Oh, they changed the name? Okay.
Yeah, that's what they called it for the
Well,
new release.
And we bought the Japanese copy because it was supposed to be 2-player, and the controls are so bad it's unplayable.
And it's one player.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what's an RPG I'm looking for, dude? Now that I'm hitting the 360 pretty hard, and it's kind of pricey now. Is the 99 Nights too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the first one's like $15, but the second one is sitting at about $100 right now, complete
Yeah.
on eBay. And
It's a way better game.
Yeah.
It's definitely one that I want to pick up, dude. I'm shocked at some of these 360 games, how much they've gone up already. I mean, like, dude, the Jurassic Park game is sitting at like $60 right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's the Jurassic Park game. I think it's like some crappy point and click adventure. Like Naughty Bear has climbed like drastically. And then you got what's the other one? Need for Speed, what is it? Most Wanted on the 360 is like a $60 game right now because it was the only way to play that game in HD because the other versions are on the 6th gen. So it's a $60 racing game already, and like the store hasn't even closed yet. Like it's nuts, dude. And I only paid a quarter of the price going to GameStop. Like I just asking for these games, like, hey, can I have a list of your 360 games? And they give them to you, and I was like, yeah, I'll take half this list, thanks.
I think it's kind of hyperinflation right now. People are panic buying.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to hit a peak and then it's going to like taper off a little bit, but it won't go completely back down. Just like with the PS Vita and 3DS collection.
Mhm.
Yeah.
3DS went nuts for a while.
Yeah.
It went crazy, dude. Like
But some of those prices
Mario Golf
back
was going for like $150. I was like, what the freaking hell, dude?
Huh.
Yeah,
Seriously.
it happened with the
crazy.
PS3 too. When they first were going to shut the store down, people went nuts for the PS3, and then they were like, just kidding, we're going to keep the store open for a while longer. Well, I just started buying up as many PS3 games as I could find that I was interested in, and I'm still buying them. I collect heavy for the PS3, and it's just because like eventually that store is still going to close. Like, and I'm trying to ride that wave before that happens because I actually want these games, and I don't want to pay $200 or $300 for a game. Like, I just don't.
Well, what people don't realize is that the servers, that for the PS3 era, they're like 12 years old. So if you imagine yourself having a computer that's 12 years old, well, imagine a data center full of old hardware, and these things run 24/7, and hard drives die like every day, every hour, and it's really expensive to hire someone to go out to that data center, swap out that hardware, and then reformat it and back up all of that content again. So that's why these servers get shut down, is because of aging tech debt is what they call it in the industry.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing about the PS3 online store is that I think they need to do is there's a lot of great retro titles on the PS3 store that are locked on the PS3 store, and I don't understand why they're not part of the retro games you can get on the PS5 with your monthly subscription. Like, like you can get Silent Hill 1 on the PS3 digitally, but you can't get it on the PS4 or the PS5 even with your monthly subscription that has retro games. Like, there's a ton of great ones stuck on the PS3. I think that they should migrate those over to PS4 and PS5 because you could still buy them on PS3. So clearly the licensing is okay. So why are they not on the more modern consoles?
Joe, you said something that's kind of I have a hot take about it. So the Dragon Quest's sitting on DS, right? DS and 3DS are the consoles that are basically stuck right now. That's why I think the next Switch is going to be dual screen, so we can get those as an online eShop version for DS and 3DS again.
I'm just reporting them like crazy.
I am totally for return to the dual screen gaming. I love it. I actually want it back. I'm like,
it's coming.
Of it. I'm down with it.
So you think the new Switch will like open like a clamshell like the DS did, or
I think it's gonna be like a Wii U where you have the bottom screen is your Switch and the top screen is your TV.
And like rail apart, and you can give them to a family member.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. Hell yeah, dude.
So I understand why the technical issues of porting the DS and games would be weird. But like I mean, they could definitely make a compilation that would work. Like I have on my Steam Deck, I can play my DS and it just stacks them.
Yeah.
I mean, the ratio, the aspect ratio sucks, but it is what it is. So it can be done.
Yeah.
But even if they just remade them a little bit somehow, you know what I mean? Like even a remake, I'd be down with that. Like, or because how like the remastered Pixel Collection, it's not like a straight port. They went back in and they kind of like quality of life it up, and they gave it nice. They did do that. So if they went and did, it would require a little bit of fresh coat of paint for sure. And it's not like as simple as like a regular port. So you're definitely right. Why I can see why it's stuck. But I'm just saying, like, I don't see why. I hate companies that do not like respect their own history and like they disrespect it. Like Blizzard is the worst company for that. They literally are like, oh, you like Warcraft 3? Not anymore, sucker.
Let's
Boom!
destroy it.
Reforge that shit. You can't even play it anymore. You got to play the new one. Like,
And it's garbage, dude. It's so bad.
Yeah, and then that's why I hated WoW too, because I never understood WoW's logic. Why they would literally just make all of the old content pointless. I'm like,
Yes.
why?
Yeah.
Why don't you find a way to make that end game content like that, doable in the new game? I never understood that. I'm like,
they kind of brought that back with Shadowlands when they knocked everybody back down to level whatever 1, and then you got to basically max level went back down to 60, and then you could go through and like level up in whatever expansion you wanted to, and it made every expansion relevant. It's like, okay, I'm level 1 again. Do I want to play Lich King? Do I want to play Burning Crusade? How do I want to get to 60? Which one am I going to do? And it kind of, I guess, revitalized it a little bit, but at the same time, a lot of people said it was still dog shit. So it's like, Blizzard has just let me down, dude. Like, honestly, like, I bought all these collectibles for the past 20 something years. And like when Bobby Kotick was threatening to kill somebody on the phone, like everything went down in price. And it's like, dude, like, please, like, when I found out Blizzard was being bought by Microsoft, I'm like, thank God, dude, get Bobby Kotick out of there and let Phil Spencer just run the show. And maybe this stuff will be actually worth the money I paid for it. Like, I love Blizzard, but God damn, dude, like, they make some bad. They're not the same. No,
it's people have to realize that, like, every 5 to 10 years in a company, most of the company changes.
Yeah,
especially in the video game world. Like, people are moving on from project to project.
Unless you're Nintendo.
Correct, that's true. Then you work there for like forever, and you retire as a hero, like Reggie.
Yeah,
but Nintendo is their own thing. Like, they literally are different than every other company as far as I'm concerned in every way. So,
well, I think that's part of the problem. Nintendo's the one that's selling games right now more than anyone else, and Square Enix doesn't seem to make games for them anymore. Generally,
Yeah.
They need to. They just have to. That's all there is to it. They need to find a way.
They need to put games on every platform.
Title every time. They could make something simple for the Switch. Get something going like that.
Like
That game would have been perfect for Switch. Is that Final Fantasy? It came out for Vita and the PS4. I forgot what it's called. Like a musical Final Fantasy game with like cutesy looking characters.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Theater Rhythm.
Yeah, we got an arcade. Yeah,
that's your arcade machine, dude. That thing is sweet. So is Visions of Mana coming to the Switch?
I think so.
Definitely, I believe.
It looked like a Switch game.
It's about time. So they'll sell well. I mean,
yeah.
Triangle Strategy sold well.
Octopath
Traveler sold well. Like, Square Enix just needs. I know. I hate their underlined text style. They need to get rid of that. Like, let's get real logos back in here again. I'm gonna be honest, but
dude, I don't think. It's not coming to Switch. Vision of Mana. It's coming to PS5, PS4, Windows, Xbox, basically everything else.
Wow. And then I'm sure
it's too powerful.
I'm sure it'll get a port when the new Switch comes out eventually, or something, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, dude, if this doesn't teach Square Enix anything, like, what they need to do moving forward is, like, we're going to put our games on every available platform possible to recoup the funds that we've lost, and we'll just make more money from now moving forward. Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Nintendo. Don't be loyal to any one of them, because look where it's got you. It kind of screwed you a little bit, man. Like, those games that you named, Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Rebirth, they should have done better than they did. I heard Rebirth is fantastic.
So good.
It is really good.
Oh, it's so good.
And it should have just been one of the it should have been one of the best selling games, and it just kind of fell short, like, to their expectations, and it's a shame.
Hadley is terrible. Really, I was about to say this. Hadley is terrible. Hate that stupid Hadley.
Well,
every time I do anything in that game, he calls me.
Oh,
every time I do anything, I'm like, I finish the fight. Bloop, hey guy, it's me. I'm like, oh, what?
and the forced mini games are pretty bad. Like,
again.
I don't want to catch Moogles again. Can I do something else? No, I have to.
And the Moogles look terrible in that game.
Everything
else.
Hey guys,
real fast. As far as Rebirth is concerned, it did almost come out 4 years after Remake.
Yeah.
I think if they had a kind of like a 2-year mark or 2.5-year mark, it would have did a lot better. That's a long gap between a game that initially already came out on the PS1, the story and everything like that. So
that's true.
I feel that was another thing too.
How was the gap between 7, 8, and 9? I think we're about 2 years between each of those, right?
Yeah.
But those games were much smaller, And
I mean, kind of. They were back then. They probably took the same effort as what.
Well, I mean,
they got these big teams to help work on these games now too. For the
right.
I think Elisa made a really good point too about how I think not having a PS4 release was a huge mistake too.
Yeah,
it really was a huge mistake because I played Remake on PS4. And I think literally almost everyone I know played Remake on PS4.
Yeah, we did too. Yep.
But when it came, PS5s were insanely difficult to get.
And they're expensive now.
They are. Yeah, they're gone.
They are now, which is crazy.
It's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
So, okay, RPG question for all of you, because I like both franchises. Which franchise was better if you had to pick one? Dragon Quest or Tales of?
Star Ocean. No, I'm just kidding.
Option C.
I think Dragon Quest, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, we love Tales, but I don't know. They're just some Tales games are really, really good, and some are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my big thing is I don't mind turn-based, but I prefer the more actiony, I want to press the button and it does something kind of combat. And I think that's why I slightly gravitate more towards the Tales series, even though you're walking along and you go into almost a turn-based cutscene or whatever and get ready to fight, but then it's still action combat mixed in with that. But I do like how Final Fantasy has kind of moved into the action combat instead of the turn-based, just because I like more fast-paced combat.
I don't know. I want Final Fantasy 17 to be a giant 2D adventure in the style of Final Fantasy 6.
Retro.
That's the dream.
Yeah. I would I don't even care if it's a mainline Final Fantasy game or whatever, but I would like a turn-based 2D style Final Fantasy, even if it's a freaking Crystal Chronicles 3. I don't give a shit. Whatever you want it to be. Whatever side, I don't care if it's a new Lufia game. I just want it to be a turn-based strategy or RPG. And I want it to be. So Mark from Electric Underground, he made a great video about game difficulty the other day. And he said that one of the problems with game developers is that they never take into consideration that the people they're making their games for have played games before.
Yeah.
So he called it legacy difficulty. So he's they always try to make games as easy and accessible as possible. And they want to make it so every game that comes out, if you're someone who's never played a video game before, you can pick up the game and figure it out. They can be and that's why you have the use the left stick to move. And you're oh, really? Oh, thanks, guy. So that drives me crazy. So what I would like is an RPG that is made for people who have played RPGs their whole life.
Yes.
And I want to have 12 party members. And I want to have 6 different cooldown bars I want to watch.
Junction
with,
system.
15 types of magic systems, 12 types of magic resistances,
yes.
area effects, strategy elements, range elements. I want it to be the ultra nerdiest RPG ever. I want it to be specifically made for people who have played tons of RPGs and they have no fear of complication. I want it to be designed for RPG fans, no holds bar. That's what I think they should do. And I know, and you can put an easy mode in. I don't mind. You can, but just make the default setting that, and then you have to put it on easy.
Yeah. You want a remaster of Final Fantasy 8 is what you want. That's what it sounds like.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny is at the time, Final Fantasy 8, it scared the shit out of me. I played it for 3 weeks and I was in the first village because all I did was level up my magic and I was doing so much stuff. I'm when do I leave? when should I move on? What do I do? It was crazy, man. But yeah, that's what I like.
So Joe, back to the original question, that what between Dragon's Quest and Tales, which one did you already pick one?
Oh man, I honestly really love both of those series. I'm gonna have to go with Dragon Quest just because of the historical thing for it. And like
Oh,
during the NES days, Dragon Warrior 1 through 4 were like the shit, dude. Like
Yeah.
and there was no Tales. Tales didn't even come out until PS1. So like for me, I'd been playing Dragon Quest for years before Tales was even a thing. So it has no chance. It literally if you're talking about like my first love versus like my fourth girlfriend, I'm sorry, it's not going to compete.
Yeah.
And like it's just not.
For me though, I would choose Tails. So I guess we're at a tie then, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
got
really
no
like
hate on
Dragon
Tales.
Quest other than like builders. That's it. So, but I haven't played enough Tales to say that I like it more. I've played a few of them.
Oh, so you guys are split. Okay.
Builders
Okay,
is
right
amazing.
on.
Yeah,
But-
it's a riff in our marriage.
But see, like,
28, you know,
Yeah.
I don't.
but see, I think I would even pick like the Mana series over Dragon Quest because again, action combat over turn based. Like I just,
Right.
if I press the X button, I want to swing my sword. Like I just,
Yeah.
I like that because I do like JRPGs, but I'm a huge Western RPG fan, like Skyrim, Dragon Age, you know, any of those games that one of my first ones I remember playing as a kid was Daggerfall on a PC in the 90s. Like I've always gravitated towards the Western RPGs. Like if it looked like Lord of the Rings or whatever, that's what I wanted to play. And so for me, like all of those games are action combat. I can't really think of too many Western high fantasy RPGs that are turn-based. I mean, yeah,
Well,
there's
let me
that
ask-
Lord of the Rings one, you
Yeah.
know, but
Yes. Let me ask this. So here's something I've kind of realized the older I get. And this might be what Square Enix does right now, or what they think everybody's like. I don't know if I'm a representation of the whole, but my RPG tastes have changed.
right.
When I was younger, I was more into turn-based and all that. Nowadays, it's different. If it's turn-based, it's got to be like what Joe said. It's got to be overly complicated with a bunch of stats that I can mess with. Otherwise, I'm probably more into action. And have you guys noticed your style kind of changing as time progresses?
If it's just hit X and smash the button to grind, it's not.
You know,
It's not action.
I don't
It-
like games to stress me out, so I want my bedtime chill RPG, you know, Dragon Quest.
see, but like my tastes have kind of reversed. Whereas like when I was a kid, and don't get me wrong, I did enjoy Final Fantasy VII, but like the turn-based aspect, you know, when I was a kid, I thought was like a snooze fest. I was like, I want to mash buttons and kill things like in Zelda or whatever. But now that I'm older, I'm starting to broaden my horizons and like really try these games for what they are and appreciate them more, you know. And so I would say like I will always still like my action combat. But now that I've gotten older, I would say like into my like mid to late 20s, I'm like, well, you know, I'm going to start trying these games that everybody says is phenomenal, right? Like I never played Final Fantasy 9. So I started playing it because there are a lot of people that say, oh dude, it's better than 7. Like just it's slept on by a lot of people because 7 had so much hype, you know, and there's so many great ones that I've learned just from watching Johnny, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh dude, I never played an Ys game before. So I bought Ys 8 because Johnny showed it on his channel.
Yeah, that's a great one to start with too.
Dude, it's great. I freaking love it. And so like a lot of my RPGs, it's like from watching you guys, I'm like, oh dude, they like this game. Well, let me check it out because you know they have good taste or whatever. So I started buying up all these games, and I'm learning about all these franchises that I've just like learned to like fall in love with. And like, but you know the problem is when you're a fan of RPGs, it's like, when am I going to finish all these games realistically, dude? Like, honestly, I got 2 kids and I work a full-time gig in construction, working 12 hours a day.
The short ones, the short RPGs.
Yeah.
Rotate
Like,
through
yeah.
genres.
Under 20-hour RPGs exist.
Yeah, it's okay. Best under 20-hour RPG that has action combat.
Well, there's Wait and Active. You could probably do Secret of Mana. It's pretty short.
I've been playing the PS4 version of that recently. It's pretty good. I enjoy it.
So
I got
Joe,
one for you.
Yeah.
Rogue Galaxy.
Oh, dude, that's so good, and it's on the PS5 and PS4 for the subscription service as well.
With trophies.
Dude, that, and I've been playing a lot of Dark Cloud 1 and 2 lately too. Those are great games.
It's like Fix's favorite games.
Dude, Rogue Galaxy is sweet, and I love the shell shaded graphics, dude.
Cel-shaded
It's so
graphics.
cool.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous, man. Like I just gravitate towards that look. Except Wind Waker, that's the worst Zelda game ever made. I will die on that hill.
It is my least favorite Zelda, so I beat it recently, and I'm like, it was good, but it's my least favorite that I played so far.
Dude, I streamed it on Twitch
But
because
it has an amazing scene in it, though. The Hyrule Castle being underwater. That's probably the best part of the game.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was going through this phase of like, I'm a huge Zelda fan, but there are some I hadn't played. So I was like on Twitch and I'm like, guys, I'm going to play every Zelda game to completion that I never finished. And I played Majora's Mask and I loved it. It became my second favorite Zelda of all time. And then everybody's like, Rex, you got to play Wind Waker. It's my favorite game of all time. And I was hyped for it. I'm like, dude, this is going to be awesome. I started playing it and I finished it, but I absolutely hated that game. Like everything about it, except I thought it was beautiful and I thought the shell shaded graphics looked really nice. But the dungeons were forgettable, like the empty ocean of nothingness. Like,
that's
and you
part of it that I didn't like. There's too much traveling time.
Oh, dude,
I'm not about that in my games anymore. I don't like
it's so
downtime.
tedious. Oh, you want to change the direction of the wind? Oh, you got to stop what you're doing and use your wind stick to do that every 5 seconds because you want to go left or right. It just is a bad game, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I just hate that game. And I get so much crap for hating on that game, and it's kind of become like an ongoing joke on everything.
If you're
I
a
do.
Zelda fan, just comment below.
So, do you think you'll ever play? I don't know if you played this.
Brave man fucking with Zelda people, man. I'm telling you, dude.
What's that, Reggie?
Sorry.
Did you play the DS games, Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass?
Nope. That's a hard
Do you
pass.
think you will play those? Because they are, I think you have to use the stylus to play those.
One's really good and one's
I hear one's okay and one's really bad. I don't know if I'll ever play them.
Yeah,
which one's the bad one
for me?
Probably Phantom Hourglass,
I
right?
think Phantom Hourglass, yeah. Or no, the train one. No, Spirit Tracks I think is the bad one. Because the
really?
travel system's bad, I think, but I don't know.
I think it's the opposite.
Yeah, I could be wrong. They're both bad. Stylus controls
Let
suck.
us know in the comments, people.
Like, I like honestly, dude. Like, I would rather have you lock me in a room playing Zelda 2 on repeat than ever touch Wind Waker again. Like, just
Zelda
being
2
honest.
Zelda 2 is actually my favorite one in the series because it took a dark turn. It was actually a direct sequel to the first Zelda game, which I liked, and it was darker. I know the side scrolling was a bit to get used to for people. They should actually remake that one into a top down. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
but Zelda 2 is actually my favorite one in the series.
Zelda 2 is the only Zelda that's an RPG. Stamp that.
100%.
You know, man, I think you could make the argument that there are other ones that are.
Are there character levels? Oh, no, I didn't think so. Okay, I just wanted to.
Let's just say that, like,
let's
just look, man. Let's just say that my hearts are my levels, and my magic power.
So
I level that up.
It's an RPG.
Touche. You got me. All right. I don't know. You know what? You're right, man. I don't call Tears of the Kingdom I don't call those RPGs. I'm like, it's an action game, like an adventure game. You know what I mean?
Zelda's an action adventure game.
You know, so
I'm gonna die on that cloud. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'd agree. I never felt that. Like, if you asked me back in the day, even like, what are your favorite RPGs? I'd be like Phantasy Star, Dragon Warrior. But Zelda wouldn't even be like, I wouldn't have never thought of it.
Yeah.
Well, back then there wasn't a lot of classifications for games. Like, everything was generally you're a person or a thing hitting things or shooting at things. So like, there wasn't enough distinction to qualify an RPG yet. Now that we have distinctions, we can look back and go, yeah, that's not an RPG.
Yeah, but okay, here's my question though. Like, and I have not played these games very much at all, but so if we're not considering Zelda an RPG, how come people consider Kingdom Hearts an RPG?
Because you have a character leveling system.
Yeah.
Does it? Because I've never really played those games before, so I don't know.
And you can grind.
You have equipment.
You have equipment. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically Zelda has equipment too, right?
Yeah, but it's not only equipment. There's the leveling system, I think, is the most characteristic
character
quality.
Stats.
Yeah.
Okay. I tried.
Well, hey, that's a heated debate that can go for a long time.
It is.
It's
Did you guys see my Retro Life made a video on it? Because there was a quote from a magazine back in like 80 something where they're like, Zelda is an action adventure that acts like an RPG and an RPG that acts like an action adventure. But it was when they released Link's Awakening, so they didn't know any better at that point. Everything looked the same.
Also, a lot of the things that I see in, like, 90s magazines, I always wonder about. We had a lot of translation issues in games in general, and like, was that translated accurately?
And also, there was no pushback or criticism for anything that these people would say.
No,
they
so it was
would
in a
say just
magazine.
crazy,
Can
ridiculous.
you yell at your
things.
magazine?
That's like some of the funniest things. I love reading.
You had to write a letter,
Yeah.
and submit it to the magazine and hope that they published it.
You guys are wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's funny too, because their predictions would be wrong, their reviews would be wrong. It would just be, I love reading games that are like classic games now, and they're like, this game's terrible, 1 out of 10. I'm like, oh really? It's $1,000 now. I guess that didn't pan out the way you thought.
I had a quick question for everybody. I'm one of those rare fans that actually likes assert this game better than its original. But how do you guys feel about Chrono Cross versus Chrono Trigger?
I like Chrono
Which one do you like better?
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
I've never played either one.
I don't like the concept of having hundreds of different endings. That intimidates me. And like, no, give me the ending. We're good to go. Next game.
Well, not only that, man, all the character selection they put in that game, it was too much. I'm like, geez, man, like stick to. But the reason I like Chrono Cross better because I like the whole concept of different dimensions.
Yeah.
So that one really intrigued me. But I know Chrono Trigger is definitely a better game, but I actually like Chrono Cross better. I just thought
I just
bring that up for some reason.
Yeah, that's a heated debate as well in the RPG community.
I like Chrono Cross better though. There are a lot of people that do like Chrono Cross better. I've heard that.
I just picked up my copy of Chrono Trigger loose in a trade recently. So because I've always wanted to own a copy and actually play it on original hardware and stuff like that, because it is one that's always piqued my interest and I've always wanted. So I'm going to start playing that very soon. I have the Steam version, but I just want to play it on my CRT, man. Like just the way it was intended to be played, because I got a 36-inch Sony Trinitron. Yeah. And like I just want to play it the way I would have saw it as a kid, Yep.
Do
you think that game will ever get a remake, remaster, or sequel?
Only when Square Enix is about to go under. It's
you can
break glass of fire kind of thing.
You can get the DS copy. The DS copy.
That is like their masterpiece, so they just want to bank on that, when they're in trouble. Because if they make something now, now it's too hyped up, so it would never live up to expectations. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they did like a remake or even a sequel, so they got to be very careful how they would do that one. I don't know, kind of like Half-Life in a way. Like so they do Half-Life 3 now, like whatever live up to what people wanted it to be. It'd be crazy.
No, they just need to re-release it, put in an eShop, some microtransactions, a season pass. It's going to be great, guys.
No.
So, but I mean, so if it's never been remade or remastered,
you can pay for levels. You could pay for the alternate endings, $5 a piece.
What version do we have on Steam then?
So I think it's
the DS version.
Yeah, it's a DS version.
It's the DS. Okay,
which is a good version. I mean, that's a great version.
It's very good because they made a link between that game and Chrono Cross, which was really nice. So yeah, and then obviously you got the animated cutscenes, the alternate retelling of the game where it's like the cinematic where it shows like everything go bad, which is kind of cool. So yeah, you got the animated cutscenes. So yeah, definitely that version.
There's a battle arena option too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So my experience with Chrono Trigger was kind of funny. So when I first got into RPGs, I played Secret of Mana first, and I loved that game, fell in love. But then I still had to get into the turn-based ones, and my buddy had Chrono Trigger, and he beat the game, but he let me play it on New Game Plus. So I got to play it like powered up. So I was kind of just going through it, and I was loving every minute of it. So that kind of really got me into RPGs at the time.
Yeah. And
then I played Final Fantasy 7, and I wasn't used to grinding much. So I got myself in a bad spot in that game. I had to start over. And this is a funny story. So when you get to in Final Fantasy 7, the optional quest where you get Yuffie and you go to Wallachia, or not Wallachia, it's called Wutai.
Yeah.
Her town. There's the part in that game where she steals all your materia, and you have to fight a boss without your materia.
Yeah,
and I was underpowered, and I couldn't go out, leave the town, or buy new material or whatever like that. So I was stuck at like level 17. I could not get past the boss. I was like, oh my god, I got to start over. That's where I learned how to grind. That's almost at the end of the first disc where I was at too. So I had to go all the way back, but I was like forcing my way through the game because I didn't know how to play it properly. So then I started grinding and appreciating. Like I got to level up, got to make sure I'm good to go. And ever since then, that's never happened to me again. But that was a lesson taught, like from playing a game on New Game Plus and having all the powers.
I was like that with 9, so I'm not a big fan of Final Fantasy 9. The Trent system frustrates me to make me hate the rest of the game. And I got to the final boss at like level 46. I was like super underleveled. and I barely beat it with like only VV left with 1 hit point, and it took me like 10 tries. It was way under, and then I put it down and never stepped back and never went back in the game. And I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about the PS1 RPGs is you have to like have like 20 saves.
Yeah,
Because I've
Yep.
locked myself in like recently, like 2 years ago, I played Suikoden 2 for the first time, and like I have a habit of accidentally breaking games. So, but I want to explore, and make sure I don't miss anything, because with the Suikoden games, you want to get all 108 Destiny heroes, so you get like the good ending of the game, right? So I explore every nook and cranny of the game. Well, I figured out that there was a bug in the game where I could push a like gate and get to a new area,
You
and
weren't supposed to be in.
and I entered a cutscene that I wasn't supposed to be in. And remember in Pokemon when you had like the missing number?
Missing number,
Yeah, my Suikoden characters turned into missing numbers essentially, and the game like froze, and like so I had to go back to a previous save for like 3 hours. Because I entered that other area because I realized that there was like way higher monsters and I could level grind really quickly. But my mistake was entering a cutscene that I wasn't supposed to be in.
You know what's funny is not only should you have that many saves for PS1 RPGs, but you should also have that many saves for Bethesda RPGs. Like, dude, I remember Skyrim is one of my favorite games of all time. I know that's super cliche, but like going from Morrowind to Oblivion and then to Skyrim, like, dude, I was kind of blown away. I loved that game. And I remember I almost 100. I've never really platinumed or 100% of a game before. I don't really care much for achievements. I play the game I want to, the way I want to play it. But Skyrim was one where I'm like, dude, I'm 100%ing this game on Xbox 360. And I remember there was a quest where you had to complete all 13 of the Daedric quests to get all the Daedric artifacts. And I got to quest 12. And it took me hours. And it had on, and you could do them in any order. And there was a particular thing for quest 12 that broke the quest line, and there was no way to finish it or get the achievement. And it's like, well, I was dumb and had one save for my entire Skyrim file and was like, yeah, I'm not going back because it's a game breaking glitch or whatever. So yeah, I love Bethesda, one of my favorite studios of all time, but Starfield was trash, and they do make buggy games, but their bugs have charm and they're funny. So it's okay. And besides, I'm love being in the modding community to where like we just mod the hell out of them and make them, nice and new anyway, and fix all of Bethesda's problems. So
yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you guys, how do you guys feel about like with the older generation systems being back online, like Xbox One, regular Xbox, original Xbox and PS2 are back online via like certain like fan-made services, which is nice. You can play them on your original hardware.
Really?
Nice. Like I was playing
Halo
Resident
2.
Evil Outbreak and a SOCOM Navy SEALs Part 2 online still, which was crazy.
Outbreak's back online, dude.
Yeah.
Could you play Final Fantasy 11 on your PS2 then? Is there a server for that?
I'm not sure about 11. I didn't look into that one because that one went to Squaresoft in a way. I can't remember how exactly it was, but that's still there. I believe that's still the most popular Final Fantasy game online. Well, maybe 14 is. I'm not really sure.
I think it's 14 now. Yeah.
Is it 14 now? Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. 14 is one of the most, if not the most popular MMO on the market right now. I think it's past WoW, and then I think ESO is in third, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what's crazy about that is that game started out a broken mess. Like
I still have the white box of with the original release of Final Fantasy 14 before it was Rebirth. And it's crazy because when you logged in, I remember logging into it back in the day, and I'm like, okay, it looks fine. You can see the little rings on your fingers. I was pretty excited by that. But you would see like your first quest, you got to go kill these certain things, and you would see them in the distance, but you couldn't attack those because that was somebody else's instance of the monsters. You could only attack yours. So they were everywhere, and there were 10 people in an area, and you had to find which one were yours, and you could only interact with yours.
That sounds terrible.
It was real bad. And that was like
Yeah, wow.
day one on
That's so-
Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, but now they went back and fixed it, and it's like one of the greatest MMOs ever made. It's fantastic.
Fired everybody and rebirthed the whole thing. Yeah.
It's a really good MMO. It really is. It's solid, dude. Like it reminds me of Lineage 2 back in the day, like just the art style and everything about it. It's just a really good game.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, everybody, I hate to say it, but we've been going 3 hours now.
Yeah.
I think it's
Has it
time
been the
to,
longest one?
Yeah, we were going 3 hours, man. We usually only do 2. So it's
Wow.
been an awesome episode. It's been all
Dude, this
blast.
was great, man.
Great.
Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, I keep going, but like, literally, I gotta use the bathroom. I'm a professional here. I gotta poop. Show over. All right. No, I'm just kidding. Again, I put everybody's socials down in the comments in the description, guys. So if you like the show, if you like what you heard, please go subscribe to Dan and Elisa and to Mike Rectwizard. Their X, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff's down there. Both make great content. Both are great hosts. Reggie, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's also makes content.
It's kind of a big deal.
He's got his links down there.
Yep.
He's up to 101K. That's right.
Woo!
Trying
Dude,
to get
I know,
to
right?
150. Let's
That
go.
was so dope when you hit 100K, dude. Like that push from 99 to 100 was dope. I remember when you posted about that. Congratulations, by the way.
His camera just locked out or something.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm done. But the real big so is I'm up to 50 subs.
Hell yeah,
go.
dude.
I'm a big deal now. I'm gonna be that guy. Like I'm gonna be. Do you know who I am? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, anyway, if you guys want to sub to me, that'd be great too. Appreciate you. But yeah, it's been a great episode. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys had a lot of fun, and we'll have to do this again soon. For sure.
Absolutely,
thanks
dude.
again.
Anytime,
And,
dude. Loved it.
Yeah, it was a good time, and thanks for watching, everybody. And I will see you next week.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye, everybody.
guys.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Season. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna run this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance. You found the coolest place to be.